Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Remko Rinkema, and you are watching Run It Back, the show in which we watch old school poker action, have some fun with it, do some shoutouts, do some giveaways, and most of all, enjoy the action from the past. And today is a glorious day. It is a wonderful evening. The sun is setting in Las Vegas as we are watching the Doubles Poker Championship finale. Sit back, relax, grab some snacks, open up a cold one if that's your drink of choice, and join me for 2 hours of high-stakes action from the past. This is from 2010. We are watching the finale with $1 million up top. If you're new to the show, I do this every week at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern on Thursday night, and I rely on you guys at home to make suggestions for what to watch and which guests to get on this show. So please don't hold back in the chat. Let me know how you feel. Let me know where you're watching from and chime in with whatever is on your mind, because I am here to hang out with you guys and watch some poker action from the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas on Fremont Street. We are watching the Doubles Poker Championship, commentary by David Tuckman and Brandon Adams. We won't hear all that much from them because I'll be on the mic for the most part, but this is the final lineup, and I want you guys in the chat to pick your favorite players and to decide who is going to win this battle with $1 million up top. Let's listen to this introduction and see who we are dealing with.
Chris Ferguson and Phil Ivey, lucky to make the playoffs, but now with a shot at the title. Tony G and David Benyamine, a combustible pairing that also starts with 600,000. And Howard Lederer and Phil Gordon, tall and taller. Let's check in with Lacey Jones.
All right, while we check in with Lacey Jones, we're checking in with me, myself, Remko Rinkema. You can also find me on Twitter at Remko Rinkema. That is where I will be updating you guys on who is going to be on the next show. I can already give you some amazing information for next week's show because I will have a guest, and his name is Isaac Haxton, and he won the 2018 Super High Roller Bowl in Las Vegas at the PokerGO studio, and together with Isaac Haxton, I am watching that final table. Run it back, same format. The only difference is it'll be Isaac Haxton providing some amazing takes on the action from that event back in 2018. For now, shout outs to my friend Dave Denholm in the chat, my girlfriend Jess in the chat. Wow, what a beautiful day already. Mitch Hecht, as always, with us. Venus in Virgo, Tyler is with us. I see Michael Cat. I see a whole bunch of people. I see Azus on Twitch. I see Jammer000 on Twitch as well. I see Chelsea and David up on Facebook. Please let me know that you're chiming in. Interact with the chat as we are diving deeper and deeper into this action. In case you missed it, by the way, I watched every single episode of the Doubles Poker Championship in the last few weeks on this very show, and I'm so happy that most of you watched this all with me, and I can already tell you that I have a favorite team that I am rooting for. But please pick your favorites and let me know in the chat who you got. We got Huck and Alan Cunningham. We have Chris Jesus Ferguson with Phil Ivey. We have Howard Lederer and Phil Gordon. And then my favorite duo of the show today, Tony G and David Benyamine. Hello. You guys remember the last episode when Tony G and David Benyamine got into a heated argument during the timeout about what to do in a certain hand, and David Benyamine basically called Tony G an idiot? I am hopeful that today, they have 2 timeouts, we will see some more fireworks between that couple, that lovely, lovely couple, bickering and all. You get it all. It is the wonderful thing about this format. All right, before I slow down a little bit and we sit back to watch some more of this action as we see King Jack against Ace King, this might actually be a big pot. Let's listen in.
I'm not a bracelet guy.
Okay, what do you think it is? What do you think you are to win? Win one. You can play as many as you want. You say you're going to play 4, but you can play 20.
And Cunningham raises it up to 50,000.
Got a 3-bet.
Back over to Benyamine.
I might not play. I've never played more than like 6 events in a year, so I'm going to struggle.
Well, if you get 5 to 1, you got to cap it at what? 4 events or so.
No, you said you can have as many as you
All right, they lay it down. Gives me some time to explain the format. This is played, as the title says, doubles poker, in teams of 2. If Tony G acts before the flop, David Benyamine goes on the flop. Then it goes back to Tony G on the turn and Benyamine on the river. So 4 points of decision, and they each get 2 during the hand. As the button moves, the action also moves on who goes pre-flop and so on and so forth. So basically, a very strange format. There was a random draw for who plays with who. There were 16 heats leading to the semifinals, and then this is the final. From the playoffs onward, these guys were stuck together playing as a team. So clearly, there is now some rapport building between these players. Most of these guys have been longtime friends. I believe Howard and Phil Gordon go way back. But then, of course, you still have the dynamic of relying on your teammate. By the way, we're seeing some massive hands here right off the bat. Let's see what Uncle Howie is going to do here with the queens, obviously coming in for a raise. By the way, not a fan of Howard Lederer, not a fan of Chris Ferguson, but guess what? I had no choice in who was going to make this final table. So, we're just stuck with it. This is a Full Tilt sponsored show, as you can see. This is from 2010. This is from a long time ago, and I think that we can all agree that, enough has been said about these guys. We're just here to enjoy the action. Ferguson has the action with pocket fives against Howard. Let's see where his hand goes.
And Ferguson's going to raise it up.
Don't love it. You're not comfortable if the other team calls. You're not comfortable if they re-raise.
And I would think with 2 red fives, that's the kind of hand you want to see a flop with. Maybe flop a set and stack your opponent.
That's the traditional thinking.
I'm all in.
There we go.
Well, and now Lederer has moved all in.
Big
and the
swinger.
likelihood is that Ferguson has eliminated the chance of stacking his opponent. I doubt he'll call this.
We got Hanks in the chat, my man. Thank you so much. Of course, it's pretty straightforward, Hanksy. Howard and Chris, their involvement with Full Tilt Poker and how all of that went down. The iconic interview that Howard gave to Poker News where he didn't say a single word and basically said, I don't remember. I don't remember. I don't remember. To every question that Matthew Parvis served him up, and it were lots of softballs as well. But yeah, I do appreciate everyone chiming in. I haven't seen many choices in the chat yet about what your favorite team is and who you are rooting for. So please let me know who you are rooting for. That is basically the whole point of the show, is to sweat the action along with you guys. And I've said this before. I've never seen this before. I have no clue who wins. I asked my good friend Brent Hanks to get Huck on the show. That didn't work out. Guess what? No one else was involved in being interested in being on the show. And of course, a bit late for Tony G, who probably is in Europe somewhere. I see Nikki in the chat on Facebook. I see Keith. I see Tyler. I see Jose, Nando, Michael. Thank you guys all so much for chiming in. Barry, as I explained earlier, the action goes back and forth between the teams on every street in the Doubles Poker Championship. So this is the beauty of the format. And if you guys have suggestions for any future pairings or any favorite pairings you would like to see if we bring the show back at some point, then I'd love to hear it in the chat as well. Let's see. We have Tyler rooting for Seed and Alan Cunningham. Neha is rooting for Ivy, of course. No surprises there. Michael says Lederer and Gordon for the douchiest duo. Wow. Phil Gordon is the douche. Let me hear some explanations on that. I did not know that Phil Gordon was a douche. Let's see. Tyler says, I wonder if in a different version of this format you registered as a team of 2 instead of being random doubles. I wonder how pre-made strategy would come into what those strategies would be. Well, I think you can never do this as a team sign-up, because then the best players would just sign up with each other, and that would take the whole fun out of the random draw and being stuck with Tony G, or being stuck with Phil Hellmuth, for instance. So clearly the random draw is part of the appeal of this format, and I think that is also what makes it beautiful. So if we ever do this again, I think we just have 16 players sign up, and then we'll do random draw, 2 tables of 8, 4 pairs on each table, and then play down to a top 2 or something, and a seeding of some kind to play the final table. All right, ace-9 for David Benyamine. Let's see where this goes.
With deep stacks, who do you think it favors the most at this table?
Well, you would have to say Ivy, because he's the best high-stakes, no-limit player of the group. But he's paired with Ferguson, who's really more of a tournament specialist. I think overall deep stack gives the advantage to Huck and Allen.
King, 6, king, trip kings for Huck Seed and Alan Cunningham. I've watched countless hours of Alan Cunningham. I don't think there's anybody in the world who's better. When you're talking about tournaments, cash games, he's just such a great player.
Alan Cunningham, best player back in 2010? Let me know in the chat. I don't think so.
He's very, very sharp. Underrated, really.
Huck Seed gonna slow play his trip kings. They pick up a spade draw to boot. Action on Cunningham. He's gonna check it one more time.
What's up with the slow play? Come on, Alan, make some money.
The spade draw betters the case for slow playing.
Whatever, Brandon.
Reason being, sometimes your opponent has a better king, and now you have outs against him.
Come on. Are we really
Cunningham looks
worried
like he's
about
going
the
to
king?
call, and he does call. Are you surprised Benyamine bet the turn? Ace-9 oftentimes will be the best hand on that kind of board.
Yes, I am a little surprised. I think it sends the message to Tony G that he wants another bet. If he checked, he's telling Tony G to give up.
Tony G bet 60,000.
Let me double check it. That sounds like a real big hand. What?
Huck seed calls. Huck seed only calls.
Things aren't always what they seem.
Go gambling Huck.
Nice call, Huck. It's good to see
Nearly
that
folded.
you brought your A game here today, and you are lasered in for your.
Wow.
Not sure what that comment means, but
I'm not suggesting you should have raised, but it was nice that you got in the, wow, that sounds like a big hand.
Oh.
So, your range.
The professor.
If looks could kill, Howard Lederer would be on the floor right now. Howard with the needles, by the way. Man, I only have the memories of Howard Lederer playing on high stakes poker, being a total nit, and then getting bluffed as well by Tom Dwan, which was one of my favorite episodes, obviously. By the way, Dave Temple in the chat on Facebook, as always, watching from the UK. Hull, I believe, Dave. That's where you're watching from. And you didn't even say it, but I just remember. If you are in the chat right now, let me know where you're watching from. I appreciate it. If I'll do some shout outs if I see some interesting places to shout out. I have one rule. I only shout out one place when I see it and never again. So if you say USA and someone else says USA, then I'll only get one shout out. So that is one of the things. Ricardo says, shut up, Howard. Yeah, it's fair. Fair enough. Some mean comments coming in. I appreciate it. I can totally dig it, by the way. If you enjoy the content, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We have daily new videos coming out Monday through Friday on our YouTube channel and as well on Facebook. We just released an absolute classic. Absolute classic. Aces losing every single time. 6 straight hands of aces losing in massive pots on high stakes poker. If you've missed that, you got to go check that out on both our Facebook and our YouTube channel. Nice Lime, I think it says, is in Zimbabwe. Obviously, I appreciate it. Water Trash says this ain't live, right? Well, I'm very, very live, but as you can tell by the Full Tilt logo, this is very old footage. This is from 2010. We are going back in the vault. We broke out the old school footage. I dusted it off, and I'm ready to dive into this. I watched every single episode of the Doubles Poker Championship over the course of the last few weeks, and today is the finale. The winner of today, the winner of this sit and go, is going to walk home with $1 million. They may or may not have spent it between 2010 and 2021, but we'll see how that plays out. But there's $1 million up top for the winning couple. We got Maine USA in the house, Australia, Italy, Sicily, Portugal, Florida, Richmond, Charlotte, North Carolina. What else? Altoona, PA. Never heard of it. Sounds like a great place. Cerco Lavoro. I hope it's not some kind of curse word, but that sounds like a town somewhere. Mexico in the house as well. What else we got here? We got Lee, Massachusetts. I didn't know that was a place. Las Cruces, Mexico. I appreciate that as well. What else we got? We got Costa Rica and Michigan in the house. Twitch, let me know where you're watching from. I appreciate you guys tuning in as always. This could be a big coin flip. Let's see.
Tony G announces raise.
16. That was 35 on 5.
Wow.
Everyone here
More
knows you're
aces.
folding.
No, but it was like, so excited.
I think this is a tough spot for Chris. If you notice, Tony G talks like a crazy man, but he doesn't play like a crazy man.
They can't get a tail off me.
You're right, Phil. I usually fold when I look down at my hand and shake my head back and forth.
Well, just fun, but the object is actually thrown away.
Get him,
the
Phil.
card, I mean,
Because she would just ride along and watch.
Why?
Why?
Oh.
Ferguson has made his decision. He's all in.
Timeout.
Oh,
you would've taken
okay. Let me explain this real quick. During the preliminary heats, all 16 of them, or maybe with 12, I don't know, 12 or 16, doesn't really matter. You got one timeout per show, one timeout per heat. Now, in the finale, you get 2 timeouts. 2. So 2 timeouts, 30 seconds each. You can talk to your partner about what to do. So in this case, we have Ferguson and Ivey all in for 254. We have Tony G and Benyamine stepping aside to discuss the action. So let's listen in. The last time this happened, on the last episode, Benyamine almost lost his shit on Mr. Tony G for thinking of some strategies that were clearly not within the realm of possibility. Let's listen in.
Time out before you did that. Why are we going on with 3 timeouts in the bank?
She would ride along so she could torch me on the 8th hole.
Ace 10.
Ace 10?
Yeah. No, we fold. Can't call. Ace 10 you can call, buddy. Doesn't matter. 200 more. Ace 10 we can call. We can't be crippled. So we had, King, Jack 10 suited. It's better than Ace 10. You think they're gonna... If he has a big ace, he just re-raised the hand. Small pair. Buddy, even if you're a small player, we don't want to be in, but that's the best case scenario. That's the best case scenario. He can't be third in chips when he has no chips. We're gonna be last in chips if he has just a big ace. There's no need to think about this way. You re-raised, you did what you had to do. You could have called, you could have re-raised, that's okay. That's no big deal. Sometimes we have the hand, sometimes we don't have enough. That's not what happened.
Does this feel like a therapy session or what? David Benyamine is straight up coaching Tony G on how to play basic poker. This is absolutely fantastic. I was going to drop the F word, but I don't even know if I should. But this is absolutely amazing, by the way. Come on. Okay, let me know in the chat. Are you on Team Tony G or are you on Team David Benyamine? I want to know right now.
I'm not sure if Tony G is 100% on board, but he's going to listen to Benyamine and fold.
Good team player there. Wishes he just called pre-flop.
Nicky Young says, hey, Tony G. Wow, that's strong. I think Tony G is one of the most entertaining players to watch. However, you can easily disagree with some of his strategic approaches, but he was definitely a lot of fun to watch. Oh, wait, we have a segment. I want to listen to these segments because they're pretty epic. By the way, remember how they... where Eric Lindgren and Johnny Chan were paired up, and Johnny Chan called Eric Lindgren Gary? I thought that was brilliant.
This unique event.
If you're going to call a timeout, you want to make sure that you've thought it through.
Timeout.
Take timeout.
Time. You want to be ready. Quick question, quick answer. Okay, break.
Well, that's close. I can go either way.
It's very close. I don't know, that's a tough one.
I mean, I guess, I don't know. I guess you want to call, right?
I do want to call.
You kind of let your partner know what you're thinking by, making a call or a raise, or make sure they're in the same book and they're reading the situation right.
I don't care what you do. I mean,
Stupid advice I got.
No, please. Tony, please, I'm asking you, no. Not 352.
The worst timeout I've seen thus far is David Oppenheim called a timeout.
Timeout.
And after 15 seconds or 20 seconds, the dealer said 10 seconds. And he said, what?
What? We have 10 seconds?
And the dealer said, yeah, 5 seconds. And David said, huh?
Huh?
And then he said, that's it.
Seems like every decision is close, except for the ones that involve David and Tony.
Come on, how can you not like this? How can you not love this format? This is absolutely brilliant. Tyrone says he's rooting for Ferguson and Ivey. Rex says he's not rooting for Tony G. He's watching from Manila. Thank you so much for tuning in. Nikki says he's obnoxious. He definitely is, but he is fun to watch. Aces, by the way, pocket rockets. Let's see where this goes. Tony, please.
Now, 10's out of position. It's an interesting hand. A lot of different ways to play it. Of course, you can 3-bet, and at the same time, you can smooth call.
With these stacks, I like a 3-bet. I think you 3-bet and you're happy to call a 4-bet.
Unfortunately for Lederer and Gordon, they're going to find out the bad news soon enough. Now, does Benyamine smooth call this? Play it trappy? Or does he get the chips in now?
I saw a question in the chat asking what the blinds are. It's kind of tough, but I do think that those black chips are 25Ks and the orange ones are 5, so that's a raise to 30K. So make up your mind based on that.
There's definitely a case for slow playing. We know Gordon bluffs a lot in these spots.
Timeout.
Ooh, timeout.
100,000 more from Benyamine.
Let's see.
And Gordon immediately takes a timeout. He wants to talk it over with the professor.
Look at this.
That's okay. It's fine. It's fine, yeah. I mean, even if his range is very, very tight, it's fine with tens.
I don't think there's any doubt what Bill Gordon wanted to do. Just wanted to get the approval, and sure enough, Gordon's all in. Benyamine calls, turns over 2 black aces.
No timeout.
And it's Lederer and Gordon that are on the brink of elimination.
It was an interesting play by Benyamine. He put out a very small raise on the 4-bet. I think he wanted Gordon to think that he might fold to a 5-bet.
Nothing there for Lederer and Gordon yet. Queen, king, deuce, couple of diamonds. Lederer and Gordon need a 10 or running cards. And it's a 10 of hearts.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
What else is new?
Wow. Thank you for moaning for them or riding the broom on us in the middle of the hand. Something. I know you're doing something that wasn't good for me.
We deserve an ace from Spike.
Whatever he did helped you a lot.
No, this is after the 10 hit.
Come on, put a jack out there.
6 of hearts. And Lederer and Gordon double up.
Sorry, boys.
281, right?
I think they are still in the hunt, but it's not looking great for my favorite duo. Tony G and David Benyamine on the ropes here after losing a big all-in with 10s against aces. That's the beautiful skyline of Las Vegas, which is also where I am coming from. For those who are just tuning in, I am alive. Send me your questions, your requests. Let me know where you're watching from if you want a shout out. And please don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channels. The action that we're watching, as Lacey Jones does the hosting of the Doubles Poker Championship, is from 2010. And a nice observation from Nice Line Mate on Twitch. He says, Lederer using the word range in 2008, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it is. Hallie Bob says, when did this happen? This was in 2010. So yeah, definitely some old school action 11 years ago coming up real soon. Got some good banter going on. Tyler says, Tony G on Triton Cash Game was great to watch. Johan Hermans says, on your bike. Exactly, on your bike it is for Tony G if they don't make a quick comeback here. Stefan watching from oh, sorry, I thought he said Houston. He says, howdy from Texas. Appreciate it. Appreciate it so much. Thank you so much. We have Israel in the house. Shaya watching on Facebook as well.
He gets everybody else to call. Action on Ivy in the big blind. Now Ivy looks like he wants to raise, and he does raise. He raises up to 30,000.
Here we go.
With with King 5.
Let's go, Phil.
And that's going to bring in Gordon. Gordon's going to call with King Deuce suited.
Oh.
What's going on here?
Suppose he's playing position.
3-3-10, 2 pair for Benyamine and Tony G. And they're looking good to survive.
Not much in the side pot, Chris. I just want to let you know.
What the hell? That's not allowed.
Before you do something stupid.
That's not allowed.
I don't think Lederer has looked at the cards yet, but he's sending a friendly reminder to Chris that both teams benefit from checking down to the river and giving themselves a better chance of eliminating Tony G and Benyamine.
That's super out of line. Come on.
Ordinarily, there's something a little unethical about that, but I do think Lederer was joking here. I think it's pretty obvious.
Not surprised by Howard saying that.
Yeah, I think Lederer feels that the other teams are so familiar with that strategy that it doesn't harm anything to remind.
A club on the turn. It does give Tony G and Benyamine a larger 2 pair. River's a queen. I saw the picture card for a second, but it is not a king, and Tony G and David Benyamine are going to more than triple up.
They were doing good before that one.
It was an unusual play by Benyamine to just limp before the flop. In this case, it worked. I think his rationale was that he wasn't going to get a fold by pushing all in. He just didn't have enough chips.
No. They could have given us something.
Well, I think with 23,000 chips, I know Tony G and David Benyamine both knew they're going to have to get lucky more than once. Why not start there?
Exactly. Benyamine and Tony G on the up and up, trying to make a comeback, and that is a team that I am rooting for, but it's still not looking too great. By the way, let me know in the chat who you are rooting for. This is the Doubles Poker Championship. If you're just tuning in, these guys are playing in teams with $1 million top prize. This content is all available on PokerGO, and I saw some questions earlier in the chat about what the best content is on PokerGO right now. New stuff. We have new episodes of High Stakes Poker airing every Wednesday night, new episodes of Poker After Dark every Monday night. We are creating new content for you guys, for the fans. So if you want to go check that out, please do so and use the promo code HSP to take $20 off the annual subscription. So don't miss out on that. I'm in the vault. I'm going back into the archives and I'm watching this with you guys. By the way, next week, same time on Thursday night, I have Isaac Haxton joining me to watch the 2018 Super High Roller Bowl final table that Mr. Haxton managed to win. So if you want some insights from one of the brightest minds in the game, you got to go check that out next week on Thursday night, same time slot. Mr. Haxton joining me to watch the Super High Roller Bowl final table.
Gordon leads out with 30,000. Cunningham going to take one off.
Long way we are now.
Wow, big turn card.
Very interesting turn card. This gives Huck seed a flush draw to go along with his straight draw. Needs a queen or a club. A lot of players would take a card here, but seed decides to semi-bluff.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Howard checked the turn, but given that he checked, I can't blame Huck for taking a stab at it.
And it's back to Lederer. And he makes the call. River's a 7 of hearts. That does not complete anything for Seed and Cunningham. It gives him a pair of 7s. And now Gordon leads out. It's almost as if Lederer and Gordon are playing this hand completely differently. They're on completely different pages.
That's exactly right. Putting it all together, they took a highly unusual line of betting the flop, then check calling the turn, then betting the river.
Timeout
Now
here.
we have a
By the way, this is a smart team, Cunningham's seed. I'm very curious to hear what their analysis is going to be.
timeout.
What are you considering doing?
I think he has like king 9 or something.
Yeah, I just think he has like a jack 9 or something. I think Howard's over there yelling at him.
I think I was right. I think he's raising.
Yeah, I think I like making.
Let's see, it's 50.
But then he's like so
I know.
crazy, like he might just call him. They're not really studying this. I mean, I don't think they have a good hand.
I think it's just thinking 200 and or should I go bigger?
Bigger the better, I think.
300.
Yeah.
Wow. I love this.
Interesting that Huck got a read from Phil and Howard away from the table.
Wow. This is going to be a big raise. I love this. I hope this works. Let's go.
And it's a big raise from Cunningham. He makes it 300,000.
Punish them. Take the timeout.
Ace queen.
And Gordon is confused.
A very interesting play by Allen. He did, after all, catch a little bit on the end.
Well, the way that Lederer and Gordon have played this hand have confused Cunningham and Seed. It's almost as if Gordon is playing this hand like he has the nuts, like he has ace-queen, while Lederer is playing the hand like he has king-9.
You're right. Cunningham, not sure what they have. He just thinks a raise will work.
All right, timeout.
2 timeouts on the same street. We haven't seen this since the preliminary rounds.
Let's do the wrong thing again.
You really don't like checking, do you?
No.
Ever. You saw what I did on 4th Street. I just smelled real problems with this hand. I want to play this hand so small. I can't believe you let it river.
I don't want him to check queen jack behind me or king queen behind me.
I do want them to, because their range is so full of as is crushed.
Like what?
Like that flop, there's nothing out there anymore. They're not going to pay us off on the river. Anyway, let's get back to the street.
Okay, they have 30 seconds to figure this out. And so far, Mr. Howie, Mr. Professor, has wasted 23 and a half seconds to basically belittle Phil Gordon about his playing style. Hello? Unreal. What a miserable guy.
We can fold. We're still the chip
I know we
leader.
can think. I know. I know. I mean, God, I wanted to just call a bet so bad.
I didn't bet that much.
I know, but it totally changed everything. They bet like 120 on the river if we just checked.
Well, time's running out. What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
I think we call.
What?
I think we call.
You do?
Yeah.
I would fold.
You hate it?
I would fold. I think we're beat, but...
Okay, let me know in the chat right now. Phil Gordon wants to call. Howard Lederer wants to fold. What do you think they're going to do? I'll give you guys a few seconds. Let me know in the chat. Are we going to see a call? Are we going to see a fold? By the way, I love this bluff. They're full of shit anyway, so let's see if this works. So let me know in the chat. Call or fold? That's all I need to know. Are they going to call? Are they going to fold? I'm gonna hit play in like just a second here. So let's see what plays out. Is it going to be Howard with the nit fold? Is it going to be Phil with the call here? I'm very curious. Let's roll the tape. Did my audio just crap out? Okay, I guess we lost audio here for a second, but it doesn't matter. We'll see what's going to happen. I promise you audio will come back. In the meantime, I'll just keep talking. Phil Gordon still thinking. He called. He made the call. He made the call. He showed the two pair. Wow. Big win there for Howard and Phil. God, I want to hear what they have to say. Why is this audio not working? This is annoying. Okay, let's scroll back. Let's see if we can get the audio back. Maybe I just crashed my VLC player. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I think I did. I think I just crashed VLC media player, guys. All right, VLC crashed because Howard Lederer and Phil Gordon were in a fight. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just start it all over again. I'm going to restart this. Restart the VLC player. Stick with me here. Don't go anywhere. We still got some action to watch. See, there you go. It really crashed. All right, let's restart this. Okay, I'll promise you I'm going to show this moment again, and we're going to go analyze what Howard had to say. But yeah, my VLC is just completely dead. Okay, force quit. Let's try this again. Come on. Okay, we shut it down. We reboot it. Okay, let's go. Okay. Okay, that works. Let's put this here. I'm such a genius. Okay, that works. Okay, now let's find this moment. Did I just click on it and get it right away? All right, here we go. We'll watch it.
There's nothing out there anymore. They're not going to pay us off on the river. Anyway, let's get back to the street. This disaster.
We can fold. We're still the chip
I know we
leader.
can think. I know. God, I wanted to just call a bet so bad.
I didn't bet that much.
I know, but it totally changed everything. They bet like 120 on the river if we just checked.
Well, time's running out. What do you want me to do?
I don't know.
I think we call.
What?
I think we call.
You do?
Yeah.
I would fold.
You hate it?
I would fold. I think we're beat, but it's up to you. I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of out of this hand, so it's really up to you.
What a crybaby.
They'll have to agree to disagree.
All right, we call.
And Gordon calls, and it's a good call.
He had better than he thought. He had the king 10. He thought you had king. He thought you had king 9.
I was so upset. You shouldn't have asked me at that point.
You wanted him to fold?
What?
You wanted him to fold?
At this point of the hand, because I so wanted him to check on the river.
Right.
Like, I was just so upset that he led that I wasn't really worth consulting on it.
Okay, just a few minutes ago, Howard and Phil were looking for a 10 against the aces of Tony G, and now they are the runaway chip leader at this stage of the event. By the way, if you're just tuning in, it's $1 million top prize here, watching this old school action from 2010, the Doubles Poker Championship from the Golden Nugget in Las Vegas. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Don't forget to smash that like button. I really need it. It's the only currency I accept for the show, and we will we'll dive deeper and deeper into the action as we have about 90 minutes left. So don't go anywhere. We're going to watch this all the way through until we have a winner in this scenario. The calls and the folds were pretty split down the middle here in the chat today. So pretty funny how everybody has their own opinion and everybody is hating on Howard Lederer, which is also kind of funny. Domingo says he's from Houston, Texas, the poker capital of Texas. He says that he plays with Johnny Chan and Sammy Farha at a local game. That's incredible. I am so jealous.
The best play would have been to bet turn, bet river.
Benyamine moves all in. Gordon immediately calls with pocket fives, and now it's over to Cunningham.
We win this big pot here, buddy?
Yeah. We're favorites.
I'll call a timeout.
Okay.
Cunningham's going to call a timeout. Obviously, they're going to at least call, but they might raise, right?
Yeah, this is a very subtle situation.
What my initial?
So, Phil, did you see Phil make that call?
No,
He sort of just said call. He sort of insta-called at 70, and we were 350.
I want to shove it. I mean,
Do you want to shove it?
what do you think?
That's what I kind of normally want to do. Of course, we could also, I mean, if we both lose, we'll at least come in third, I guess.
Do you want to make this
We could just
make it 65 more?
I don't think.
Because they might. We don't want them to call.
Just in case we go broke after. Do the timeout. Yeah.
I think it's better to shove it.
Wow, they could be moving in here.
All in.
I knew it. What a read.
How much? 301.
Unlike Lederer and Gordon, Cunningham and Huck on the same page.
What was it?
Gordon upset about it, but he's got to fold the pocket fives.
Wow, beautiful. We have 2 nines.
Oh, you thought we had 2 sevens, so you had a smaller pair.
I love that. Look at the value we got. Do you think you like to have tens against your hand? I'm happy with it. We got tens against aces. We lost. We're back in town, baby. We win this. We're back.
As it turned out, yeah, we didn't really want to.
I'm excited. I love this. This is what I love.
He should be excited. Got great odds for his move all in, and even
That's
more
the
reason
way.
to be excited. They flop top 2 pair.
Wow, this could be the comeback of the century.
Those 10s are good on the turn.
Oh.
Not this time, though, for you, Cunningham.
No clubs. That wasn't that scary. That was pretty safe.
3 across club was like really scary.
Can you give a red card? Just do me a favor, pick if it's a red card. Red.
It is red. It's a 5 of hearts.
Yes, that's the way.
Wow, Gordon and Lederer would have made their set on the river.
Is that you?
Yes, we would have. We'd be
Don't move in with Queen Jack anymore.
By the way, if Phil had called, we'd be heads up right now. Yeah, the fives. Wow, 5 on the river.
He didn't call.
More importantly, Tony G and David Benyamine.
Make it 60 on the
They had 23,000 chips just a few moments ago. Now, they're up to 217,000.
Nice little comeback there for Tony G and David Benyamine. My favorite team on the show. By the way, don't forget to chime in with what your favorite team is. Also, we have new PokerGO merch that includes PokerGO shot glasses, hats, t-shirts, and a whole bunch of cool stuff that you're going to find all that stuff on PokerGoshop.com. Use the promo code Remko, that's my first name, R-E-M-K-O, for 10% off anything you purchase in the PokerGO shop. We even have beer glasses. If I was having a beer right now, I would use one of them, but I'm trying to have some water, trying to be healthy and all that stuff, but we have some really cool beer glasses in the shop available as well. And if you're a true poker fan, I would recommend the High Stakes Poker hat. Really cool item to rock in your local home game whenever that's possible again. Thanks so much for everyone chiming in the chat. I really appreciate it as we watch Lederer and Gordon going up against Seed and Cunningham again. Let's see where that goes.
He's going to play this hand a little bit tricky. See if they can get value from their hand on a later street.
Maybe they wanted to get the cards over to Gordon, who's shown himself a bit more likely to bluff.
Gordon doesn't bite. He checks. Over to Cunningham.
Team Ivy doing
This time
nothing.
Cunningham's going to bet. He bets 25,000.
As Brian says on Facebook, I agree. Love to see some more Ivy action.
I can feel it. I can feel it's coming right now after those 2.
And sure enough, Gordon takes the bait. You gotta hand it to Huck and Alan Cunningham. They know who they're playing against.
Almost inconceivable that Cunningham would fold here. When you've underrepresented your hand significantly in a spot like this, you can't fold.
And this is the whole reason for checking the flop, so you get your opponent to make a move.
Exactly.
To the river. It is a 9 of diamonds. And if somehow we were going to play with another card, maybe Lederer and Gordon can make a straight, but unfortunately, the hand is over. Lederer checks, he's given up. Huck bets 110,000. And Lederer just gives up. It's amazing that Lederer and Gordon have actually gotten this far. I've never seen two teammates be more different.
I was just going to say, I was keeping quiet there at the end, hoping that Howard would once again rip on Phil Gordon, which maybe he's doing right now. We can't really tell now from the music that's playing. But yeah, definitely funny to see how this plays out between teammates. John Sales chiming in on YouTube. He says, hey, Remko, happy you're back doing the show. Been missed. John from Manchester, England. John, thank you so much for chiming in. Everyone else, please also let me know where you're watching from. And yes, the show is now once a week, every Thursday night, because on Tuesday we have a new show called No Gamble, No Future, hosted by Brent Hanks and Jeff Platt, covering everything in the world of sports betting. So you don't want to miss any of that action. Check it out every Tuesday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. on the East Coast. That is the right time. And I believe they have a big guest lined up for the show coming up this Tuesday. So that's on Tuesday. I'm on every Thursday night. So we're sitting here at the final table, $1 million up top. Let's see if Ivey and Ferguson can make something happen.
You're not going to like that one, are you, Chris?
You guys have that.
It's another 157,000 to win 217. And he's going to pass.
Peek-a-boo. We can look at one each.
I like the fold.
You can pick one.
Ace-5 just doesn't play well in a spot.
Are you, Chris?
Peek-a-boo. We can look at one each.
Ace-5 goes into the muck there for Chris Ferguson. Ivey shakes his head. I'm not sure if it's about disgust about how close of a decision it was, or if he doesn't like the call. I guess we'll never find out. Michael watching from the land down under, Australia in the house. I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure, Michael, you are probably having a coffee right about now. From what I've learned over time is that this show is perfect coffee hour. Let's see what else we got going on. By the way, don't forget to smash that like button. Let's hit 100 likes on YouTube, by the way. That would be awesome if we could do that. That'd be a really, really good goal to have. And LUL on Twitch says he's watching from work. I appreciate that. That's always good.
It can convey information.
I noticed how I got left off that list. Mentioned everyone at the table with me, Tony.
I mentioned you before. I gave you...
Toronto in the house.
I mentioned you before. I said you have the same style.
The same style.
Yeah. We're the 7 and 8 picks here in the draft.
Ivey raises it up.
I'll be 8.
With ace-queen. And Gordon calls. And you have to imagine, every single time Lederer gets the cards from Gordon, he has to be looking at him going, what are you calling with?
This time he'll be a bit happier. They caught a flush draw.
You really? You have to look at
top
that
pair, though.
That's such a good continuation.
For Ferguson.
I really don't think
I should bet 30, but I'm gonna look. Maybe I'll check.
Maybe you look at one and bet. No, he found them out. He's seen them both. Okay, he's not listening to me. What is that? 35?
And Jesus bets 35,000.
It's tough to play the 7-high flush draw. I might expect Howard to just call with this. One of the benefits of just calling is that it makes your opponents think that you have a hand, probably a king.
Although by just calling, it lets Phil Gordon make the decision on the turn, and these guys have not been on the same page all night.
I'm all in.
Howard Lederer
Wow.
moves all in.
Let's go. Call. Let's go. Roll it.
Now, effectively, they're raising it up to 248,000 because they have Ferguson and Ivey covered.
No chance, Chris. Come on.
I call.
Call?
And Ferguson calls.
Flush draw.
Flush draw over here.
The flush draw against the big ace.
This is our chance to move up.
And Chris Ferguson and Phil Ivey at risk.
Phil could move up to 5th and 6th now. So our chance, Mr. Gordon, we're holding on.
Okay, is there anyone in the chat who wants to see a club? Is there anyone in the chat who wants to see a club?
Can't believe you didn't call a timeout, man.
Here's a turn. 7 of diamonds. More outs for Gordon and Lederer. 14 outs on top of the screen, and if any of them hit the river, Ferguson and Ivey are history.
I think you're fine. You're going to win this time.
And Tony G's prediction comes true. 9 of diamonds on the river, and the ace-queen of Ferguson and Ivey hold up, and they get themselves 561,000 chips.
As Pat and Mel always used to say on the rail, Ivey, 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 Ivey. There we go. Phil Ivey and Chris Ferguson stay alive in this event. Oh, look at these stairs as the action continues here in the Doubles Poker Championship. Everyone in the chat saying, no club, no club, no club. I'm glad we are all on the same page, ladies and gentlemen. That is awesome. We have Green Reel watching from Hungary. I appreciate it. Everyone else, please feel free to let me know as well where you're watching from. The lovely Lacey Jones once again introducing the players and the action as we continue with the final table of the 2010 Old School Action Doubles Poker Championship. So for the people who are asking, yes, this is old school. This is the action from the past, blast from the past, and we were just having some fun with it. I have no idea who wins this, so that's the beauty of the game. All right, 9s for Tony G and Benyamine. Let's see.
Lederer continues his conservative play and tosses ace-4 suited in the muck. Over to Huck seed.
Here we go.
And he effectively shoves, raises it up to 190,000.
How many big hands are you guys going to get?
Apparently one more big hand. Tony G moves all in for 192. Huck seed, of course, calls the last 2,000. Ace-9 against 9s.
Huh? I hope you're right. Because we only have 1 out right now. I didn't want to waste the timeout. We only have 1 9 left.
I did fold an ace.
Really a staggering run for Tony G and Benyamine, and it started with a very unconventional play. The limp in short stacked with 9-10 offsuit.
Nothing there for seed yet. Deuce, 3-3, couple of hearts. Nobody's got a heart in their hand.
No 4, no 5.
We need an ace or running cards.
No.
Oh my God.
Well, some more outs now.
Ooh.
A 4 will give him a straight, an ace will give him the pair. That is not a 4 or an ace. 6 of clubs.
I tell you, man.
Wow, we're back.
Indeed, you are back.
This will be the greatest comeback in television history. No. This will be the greatest comeback.
No.
20,000 against all these players, all champions. To this, to 400.
20,000 to 2 million would be a hell of a run.
I'm getting 3 tandem bikes for all of you.
Welcome back.
Tandem bikes for all the players. Tony G and David Benyamine remain in the hunt as the action continues. We are rolling into the next episode. Yes, this was broken down into 3 separate episodes, but guess what? This is running back. We are watching them all in a row. I ain't going nowhere until I know who wins this show. Michael Katz says, or no, it was not Michael Gett who asked. Someone else asked this. Actually, the chat already explained this for me. But yes, the players get to know the hands as they are, as the action is on them. So in this case, David Benyamine has ace-10. He is acting before the flop. Tony G has no idea what Benyamine has until he gets the cards on the flop, and then the action shifts. So we go back and forth between the players, and that is how the action plays out. That's why this format is amazing. That's why I think we should bring it back. Run it back, bring it back, do all that stuff. Nova Scotia in the house. South Padre Island in Texas. Never heard of it. Sounds incredible. It's probably nice weather out there. Isle of Wight. Right. Kevin Reed in the house. I appreciate it. Noisaw says, we should do Run It Back with Scotty Wynn. Yes, that would be amazing. I would love to have Scotty Wynn on the show to watch his 1998 main event win. That would be incredible. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, I can make 2 tandem bikes from all the bikes that I have here in my apartment. That'd be amazing.
You cold? We could have given you a bad bait.
Maybe.
Call? How could he not call?
All in, it's 400.
400? I'll buy it for 350.
Yeah, we'd be raising 250 more. You'd be getting over 2 to 1. And your ace-10 wasn't the best hand, so what were the chances he was going to fold?
You must have been worried. Like, there was such a good chance that we had a good hand there. It was a big chance. I knew David. It was a big, big chance.
By the way, let's all appreciate Tony G for his table talk and making this into an interesting show. If we had to watch this show without Tony G, it'd be a lot quieter and a lot less interesting. This goes basically for all TV shows. Having someone like Tony G or Helmut at the table always makes for a more interesting watch. By the way, on that note, I want to know, if we bring this back on PokerGO, which players would you like to see participate in the Doubles Poker Championship? All right, Ace King all in. Let's listen in.
No brainer there with Ace King, right?
Yeah, with steep payout structures, you want to just get the money in. You don't want action.
Well, action on Lederer. And Lederer calls with King Jack.
Surprised by that call.
Pot is 330,000.
I learned from Tony, don't get in without a super good hand.
My bad.
3-1 favorite.
I'm touching buttons that I shouldn't be touching. We're back. Don't worry. It's a live show. Shit happens.
Deuce 8-4, couple of spades out there. Huck, Seed, and Cunningham have the king of spades in their hand, so running spades will not help Lederer and Gordon. They need a jack. 3 of hearts, definitely not a jack.
Lots of white.
Here's the river. Deuce of spades.
161, gentlemen.
Nice double up for Alan Cunningham and Huck Seed. And still, we have not lost anybody.
Exactly. Still all 4 teams in the hunt. People are mentioning the audio sync issues. I was trying to fix that. I hit the wrong button and the intro played again. I hope you guys like the intro, by the way. But yeah, I'm not sure how this audio sync issue is happening, but I do appreciate everyone sticking with me here. Rich Frey says, what's up, Remko? Tacoma in the house. I appreciate you watching, Rich. Everything is great here. I love the action here. We have Seed and Cunningham. We have Ivey and Ferguson. We have Benyamine and Tony G. And we have the one team that no one seems to like here on the stream. And that is Phil Gordon and Howard Lederer.
Ivey and Ferguson work their short stack in semifinal 2.
I don't like playing with someone else's money. We beat the best.
Tony G and David Benyamine were victorious, but not without controversy.
No, please. Tony, please, I'm asking you, no.
David made me fold it. Ace from space, you beauty!
All right, timeout.
I think we should shove. We can't play in that position. What do we get out of money? A set? Nothing.
I think we shove it.
Hey! As we see a montage of some of the best moments from the show, I want to remind everyone that this show is available in full on PokerGO, as well as thousands of hours of other poker action, including every single World Series of Poker episode ever created from 2003 all the way up to 2019. We are working on some of the old school action that we don't really have on the site just yet, but we do have some stuff ready here. 1987, 1988, and 1989 WSOP. That stuff we do have available. We made a really good meme, by the way, that is on our Twitter page, twitter.com/PokerGo, which I think is absolutely hilarious. You guys got to go check it out. I'm not going to say anything more, but you got to go check it out. It's a video on our Twitter page that is hilarious. It is a cut from the 1987 main event. Of course, that was the first year Johnny Chan managed to win. We have that on the show or on PokerGO as well. You can watch all 3 of those years, and we're working on the old school action that is between then and now. There are some more years yet to be released, but we have to digitize that stuff. That stuff is on some old VHS tapes and stuff along those lines, so bear with us there. All right, aces for the most hated team on the show.
He's been playing everything so aggressively pre-flop that to slow play here would be crazy.
Well, that's not a slow play. He raised it up to 90,000.
I like this raise. It gives Cunningham the thought that he could get a fold by pushing.
You answered my question before I even asked you. I was going to ask you, if he pushes, would there be any fold equity, theoretically?
Yes.
Obviously, we can see that Gordon's never folding.
I'm going to save her last time out.
Okay, I was going to say fold anyway, so I see you're folding. Yeah.
Cunningham's instincts, as usual, spot on. He didn't.
Saving the timeout there with the pocket sixes. I was almost ready to start calling out for a 6, but they didn't shove, so we didn't have to do that. Appreciate that from the boys. Some people saying, or Ross says, Gordon always seemed like a nice chap. Yeah, but in this situation, I think I would rank them last as far as the teams that I'm rooting for. Tom says, D-Negs and Doug Polk team. Yeah, that would be hilarious if we got those players to play together. What else we got here? We got... Roger says, Huck rocking the Bieber. Excellent hairstyle. I appreciate it. Pat says, can't block out Howard's face. I wish we could. We could have blurred him out. That would have been really funny. Corey says, pair all WSB main event champs with their respective runners-up, starting with Moneymaker Farha. Wow. Now that is out of left field, and I love it. I think that is brilliant. John Sale says, Maria Ho and Daniel, or Phil Ivey and Helmuth. That'd be amazing. I think any of those people with Mr. Helmuth would be incredible to watch. B says, would love to see Farha back on the show. Master says, I like to see Dwan and Garrett Adelstein in the mix. That'd be sick. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I think we should have a great balance of young players and old school players if we ever bring the show back, because I think that's going to make for the most interesting TV.
Lederer trying to decide if it is in fact a mistake. He would want to push if he thought it was a mistake. He just calls.
It's almost like a live misclick.
Yeah, this is a very strange situation.
Well, both teams get a piece of it. Lederer and Gordon with the better piece, though.
Very, very tough spot for Cunningham.
Cunningham's going to lead out 80,000 with bottom pair. Over to Gordon. I mean, no, Gordon's not folding.
All in.
Nope, he's going to move all in. Well, effectively all in. He's actually raising it up to 217,000, which is enough to put Huck, Seed, and Cunningham all in if they call.
Wow. They're so short now.
Allen was just in an impossible spot this hand. I have no idea how you're supposed to play it, given the situation. You could make a case for check raising all in. You could make a case for playing it exactly how he's played it. Very, very difficult.
Well, we're so short anyway, I might as well call it timeout.
Well, they're going to use their timeout. He's as confused as you are, Brandon.
You like that? It's so short. I might as well call.
What odds are we getting exactly?
Well, we're a little bit less than 4 to 1. I mean, he's got to have some air in there to want to call it. Or just, I mean, I guess he could definitely have some flush draws. Is he going to ever have a king jack?
Well, yeah, that's why I didn't.
I kind of don't think I should have bet 80. I should have just shoved.
I didn't like betting the 80, but now that we put ourselves in that position, I mean, if you called the timeout, I was going to move in.
I know.
But
If we moved
Phil's
in,
been so weirdly blasty, bluffy, goofy. Unless he might have 2 deuces or
You think there's a chance
flush
of
draw.
moving in?
All the flush draws. I mean, what's the odds if they have ace 10 of hearts? What odds dog are we?
It'll be like 4 to 1 or something.
So that's the
So I guess
odds
they
we're
have to
getting
call.
anyway.
And it's not like we're going to outlast anybody. I guess I'm just calling
I
that,
don't
right?
know though. I mean, it's
Are we
the
gonna outlast
payout of the structure means. I mean,
How
it
long?
seems kind of borderline. I put us in that situation
It
though.
doesn't really do me much good to call this borderline for anybody. Call it,
Yeah.
I mean, call the call. Okay.
Back to square one.
Back to square one.
Allen noted that if it's a neutral situation, he should fold because variance hurts him and helps the other players.
Might fold that one. Didn't have anything.
This is a really tough spot. I think that getting about 3.5 to 1, you have to tend towards a call.
I'm going to call.
Wow.
Cunningham does
Did I
call.
say ace 10? Yeah, ace 9.
They need a lot of help.
The cards go on their
You
back.
gotta call with that. You have to call.
I think the timeout analysis was correct.
Did we raise by accident that amount?
Given that they were going to bet 80 and call, they would have been better off just shoving.
I would have probably shoved that.
You were shocked when you got that hand, right? And you said, what do I do now?
Doesn't matter. I
I
mean,
shoved it the same thing.
nothing really matters. We just have to hit
I wonder
it.
if we like.
I'm sure they don't know
Raising the on if I bet 80, that would kind of suck.
Yeah, there's definitely some hands he might do that way.
The turn card, 8 of spades.
Oh, that
Wow.
helps.
Almost game over.
Yeah, actually, we had 3 in a row.
A few more outs
More
though.
outs here for Cunningham and
The
Seed.
worst turn would have been what?
6, a 4, or a 5 will do it for him. Anything else, and they are eliminated from the final table and the doubles poker championship.
It's a date, right?
You can't look, Phil?
No.
Here's the river. It's a 6! Unbelievable.
What?
Cunningham sticks it in. And they make a straight on the river.
That is exceedingly painful for the team of Lederer and Gordon.
Oh, you can see it on Gordon's face.
They just can't believe
It's not like they haven't gotten lucky themselves with 10s versus aces like half an hour ago. Gordon and Lederer taking a big hit here as the 6 comes in on the river to give a massive double up to the Huck seed Alan Cunningham duo.
All right, we're all in. We're all in.
Call.
No timeout?
All right, more montage action gives me a chance to talk to you guys at home watching. If you enjoy the action, please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. And know that every Wednesday we are releasing a highlight package of some of your favorite old school poker moments. And this week we had one for the ages. We had pocket aces losing in every possible way on high stakes poker. Think Barry Greenstein versus Tom Dwan. Twice, because of course aces lost in both those cases, and a whole bunch more exciting action. I'm seeing a lot of calls for old school players and amateurs pairing up and all sorts of stuff along those lines. I'd love to see that as well. Let's see. Old News says, can we pair Kasuf with D-Negs and in the Tank Boys? That's actually kind of funny. I appreciate that.
1 million of 2 million chips in play if they had won that pot.
Blind's still relatively small compared to the chip stack. Still a lot of play. Cunningham's going to raise it up on the button with ace-3 suited. Over to Ivey. And he's going to pick a better spot.
Yeah.
Over to Cash Game Specialist, David.
Big question coming in from Ross on YouTube. He says, Remko, if you could choose any player to play with in history purely to try and win it, rather than just picking one of your heroes, who would you choose in this format? Well, I'm going to answer that question, but I want everyone else in the chat to also answer this question. So please let me know. Who would you pick to win this format with? So clearly we are looking for a sit-and-go / tournament specialist, someone who knows a lot of ICM, someone who knows a lot about, push-fold strategies. So clearly we're looking for a tournament crusher. What I'll do is there's sirens outside here. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that. Maybe something's on fire. This show is on fire. How about that? I want to play with my good friend Lex Veldhuis. Lex is an amazing player. He's one of my friends. He's a great guy, and I think we just have a lot of fun. And guess what? We can speak Dutch to each other in our timeouts, so no one will have any idea what we're doing. We don't even have to leave the table. We can just sit at the table and discuss in Dutch what our strategy will be. So Lex Veldhuis, that's my pick.
For a steal, that's not one of them.
And this is not a stealing opportunity. I really do believe Huck Seed is betting for value, hoping to get Tony G to call with maybe a king. Who knows, even a queen. But in this case, it is a chop pot, kind of like kissing your sister.
I guess I had to call the timeout the last hand because it was like almost sure we were going to be out. So it was not.
Huck and Allen lucky to chop that pot. For Tony G and Benyamine, some frustration as they get a little more than a refund.
All right, we have Tony G being called as one of the players people want to play with. Annette Oberstad, she was amazing on the show. She was really a lot of fun to watch. Gregory says Jonathan Little. Alexander says Esfandiari. Monica says Jennifer Tilly. I love that pick. Jennifer will be awesome and really fun in this format as well. Michael says Stu Unger. Wow, that's funny. Let's see what else we got. We got Herb says Billy Baxter. Mohawk says Liv Buree. Tom says Razi as well. Dave Denholm says Davide Kitai. Is that because you guys look alike, Dave? Is that why? Kitai, though, known to make some sick reads, so clearly he would be awesome. Hank says, if this ever happens again, JRB gets an invite. Yes, Brent, obviously. I feel like all the guys that are in your Rolodex should get an invite, and everyone should play, and it should be for high stakes, and it should be a random draw, and it should be a format like this, because I think this is brilliant. And if you agree with me, in the chat, let me know, because Brent Hanks is in the chat right now on YouTube, and he's the one basically in charge of this stuff. So let's just hear it for Brent.
3-bet here at Jack 4 offsuit.
This is probably read-based. We haven't seen that much pre-flop aggression from Seed and Cunningham.
Ben CB being called as well.
They might just have a feel that Tony is weak.
Ben CB is one of the best, of course. That's almost like cheating,
and while
Panda.
we suspect the earlier play with 5-4 suited was a misclick, or a live misclick, so to speak, this is definitely a 3-bet.
Tony looks suspicious himself.
He might be suspicious, but he's got Benyamine in his ear, and
that
he
works.
mucks the ace-7.
Marco says Stu Unger with Phil Ivey against Phil Hellmuth and Daniel Negreanu. That'd be a lot of fun to watch. I think if we go like all-time history, there's so many amazing pairings to be made. Doyle and Chip together would be amazing. They would probably know how to play very well. But I think I think one of the coolest ideas about this format is having people paired up that don't know each other. You know, having an amateur with a pro and that they don't know each other's game, and then the pro is left to figure it out while the amateur is left to figure it out. So they're both left to figure it out, which is the beauty of this format. And of course, we need as much drama as possible during these timeouts.
Makes it 35,000. And there's a team that we have heard nothing from this entire show. Ivey and Ferguson have been very quiet at this final table.
Well, the final table is a relatively slow structure. You have the option of sitting back, seeing if your opponents make the mistakes, saving the fast play for later on.
Well, we'll see. Benyamine calls from the big blind. 6-3-5, all diamonds. Tony G and Benyamine with top 2. Huck and Cunningham with the gut shot. It goes check, check. The turn is the 4 of diamonds, and that's got to be the scariest card in the deck if you're Tony G and David Benyamine. They still have top 2, but there's a one-liner to a straight out there, plus 4 diamonds.
Yeah, given that Seed and Cunningham check the flop, you really hate this card.
And it checks one more time. The river's a 7 of diamonds. There's a straight
What?
flush on the board.
What?
The 8 of diamonds there?
Hold on. I've never in my life seen that. Straight flush on the board? That's incredible.
You check?
Tempting steal spot for both teams.
checked already?
If I'm Huck, I might be tempted to throw out a bet of 1.5 times pot, 2 times pot, something like that.
He's thinking about it. I think he knows the gig is up.
I don't think you're going to fold if I move in, so.
He thought about it. He flips over the 9-8. Tony G and Benyamine flip it over as well. Tony G looks up at the sky, wonders, what do we have to do? This is terrible. We flop 2 pair, and we end up chopping the pot.
Wow. Straight flush on board. I have never seen that before. I mean, I've barely ever made a straight flush. By the way, let me know in the chat if you ever made a royal flush. I have still never made a royal flush in my life. So let me know in the chat if you've ever made a royal flush. Where was it? When? How did you do it? What's the situation? All right, what else we got going on here? Ryan Phelps totally agrees with my assessment of the Pro-Am. That'd be awesome. It'd be so much fun to watch. Ryan also says Jungleman with D-Negs. Keith says Moneymaker and Lock would be fun to watch. What else we got here? Alex Masick says Misha. I'm not sure who that is. Is that bad by me? Nathaniel says he wants to play with Ivy. Think about this, though. If you play with Phil Ivey, that means that he'll also criticize you as one of his peers. Do you want the wrath of Phil Ivey all over you as you make the wrong decision? I don't think so.
An interested observer?
I don't think so.
At this stage in the tournament, everyone's an interested observer.
All in.
You love to see other teams all in. You don't want variance for your team, but you love to see variance for other teams.
Benyamine had raised it up with King 5 of spades. Gordon all in immediately with his 7s. Now, King 5 of spades, obviously a better than average hand, especially four-handed from the small blind, but how do you play it?
Well, I think you raise and then give up if re-raised. It just doesn't play well to a re-raise.
Well, that's exactly what he does.
Monica says, never made a royal flush. That would be amazing. Yeah, I feel the same. I'd love to make one day. Ryan says, I've played and dealt countless hands, never seen a straight flush on the board. Same, never seen it before. Paul says, 2 royals online. Wow, Paul, you're a lucky guy. You should play the lottery, probably. Brian says, made a straight flush one time on a cruise, but never a royal flush. You know the best place to make a straight flush is probably at a 3-card poker table in the high-limit pit. That'd be the best place to do that. Josh says, I made one in Omaha. Let's see. Corey says, Tony G with Devilfish would have been great. Yes, that would have been amazing. Let's see what else we got here. Herv says, would Phil Ivey ever take a timeout? He did take a timeout in one of the earlier matches that we saw, and he basically said, I don't like playing with other people's money. That's why I took a timeout. He wanted to confer with his teammate. I believe it was with Chris Ferguson in the playoff round. All right, here we got 2 big hands.
The chip later. Action over to Ferguson. Well, maybe Seed knew that Ferguson had a real hand. The team of Ferguson and Ivey have been so patient, waiting for an opportunity. This might be it.
Ferguson's mystified by the limp.
Confused him. He's like, what is
Jesus can do it.
And that's going to make Ferguson limp in as
I
well.
put the wrong chips in. Sometimes I do.
Wow, we're going to have a 4-way pot.
All right, while you guys watch this hand, I'm going to use the bathroom.
Not
Just
so quick.
Keep watching.
Over to Lederer. Nah, he's going to pass it over. I thought maybe he'd get a raise there from him.
Gonna play this flop.
4 ways, and the cards are all sort of connected. And not surprisingly, the flop misses all of them. 5, 3, 7. Ace 10 still the best hand. but whoever fires at this pot might take it down. The pot is 64,000 chips.
How does he know a bluff is likely to work in this spot four-way?
Maybe you didn't know, but that's Phil Ivey.
It's tough to bluff four-way. Someone's usually getting a piece.
Piece schmeece. Phil Ivey and Chris Ferguson take it down and add what is a small pot, but a very important pot to their stack.
We all saw the flop. It's the first time we all saw the flop.
Tony G always on top of it. Interestingly enough, Phil Ivey and Chris Ferguson almost didn't make it into the semifinals. They had to beat Toto Leonidas in a three-way tiebreaker to lock up the 15th and 16th spots. Then they went into the semifinals as a short stack, made it through, and they're still alive at the final table, and very much alive.
Strong, patient play from those two. They haven't been at risk very often.
Now, the interesting thing is that everybody at this table has been at risk at least once. And normally when you have everybody all in at least once, you figure somebody would be eliminated. But no, all four teams still there. Ivey raised it up with nines. Nobody calls, and they take the blinds without a fight. And in a rather uneventful way, they are now the chip leaders. Now, Brandon, we always talk about Phil Ivey as almost a god-like creature at the poker table. But we know he's a man. We know he's a real man, a mortal. What makes Phil Ivey tick? I mean, what's the key to his success?
He's mentally tough. David Gray says that the biggest winners in poker are really like Golden Glove center fielders. They just don't make mistakes. Phil Ivey does make flashy plays.
What did I miss, guys? What did I miss? Please tell me what I missed. Rich says, hit a royal on Ultimate Hold'em table once. That was a great 8K lunch hour. Holy. Rich, $8,000 for a lunch royal? That's amazing. I love that. That's incredible. Big Squirrel Nuts is with us on Twitch. How is it, Remko? He said, it's great. I'm doing awesome. He says, Tournament in Tunica 2 years ago, hit a royal on the board, says Bash Bro Pat. Anorak says, what is the team format? Well, let me explain it to you one more time. You play in teams. So one player plays before the flop, the next player plays on the flop, turn and river. It goes back and forth. So, you know, Ivey and Ferguson play as a team. Ivey goes before the flop, Ferguson goes on the flop, and it goes back and forth. All right, Ross says you missed nothing. That's awesome. And Michael says Ivey takes down 2 pots. That's awesome.
But there's no reason to believe they're not in sync.
You know, people think of me as the math guy and Phil as the feel guy. But no matter how you come to a decision.
How excited is Phil Ivey to be there? On a scale of 0 to 100, how excited is Mr. Phil Ivey to be here right now in this very moment in time? Look at the excitement on his face.
As long as you're in tune with each other, and I think we're in tune with each other a lot. I think we make a lot of the same decisions.
We work well together because we kind of know what each other is going to do in a hand.
And it's wonderful having a partner that you can really rely on. I know if I hand him some kind of junk hand or some kind of weird hand, that he's going to know how to play it.
What happens is in these structures where you have a lot of time, is usually people end up breaking down at some point and doing something silly. So hopefully we're able to take advantage of it, and it's not us making a bad play. We both had to win a playoff just to get here, so we kind of, we had the least amount of points just to get into the final. And now once again, we have the least amount of chips, so I think it's kind of like meant to be. I really think that we're going to win.
This is incredible entertainment, guys. Phil Ivey just peak miserable right now. He wants to be playing Baccarat. He does not want to be here at all, but he is, of course, with Full Tilt back in these days. This is more than 10 years ago. Definitely he didn't care. Isaac says, where do I watch this event? On PokerGO, my friend. If you go to PokerGO.com right now and search for Doubles Poker, you can find every single episode of this show that was taped back in 2010. So it is an old school show. It is a lot of fun to watch, and I personally have become a big fan after watching all these episodes in a row.
I suspect they'll open up their games a little bit.
Well, Ferguson in the big blind with the old San Francisco 49ers. He's going to raise this up. And coming out of their shell is exactly what they're doing. But Huck seed, I think he laid this trap. No, he didn't.
Unreal.
Surprised?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's an unusual play.
What was that?
I'm shocked. I mean, to limp in from the small blind, I really thought he was limping in from the small blind to trap. And instead of trapping, he just tosses his hand in the muck.
I would have expected at least a call, but this shows you how aggressive play will pay off for the chip leader. The other teams have to try to creep up the pay structure.
For those just tuning in, $1 million top prize for this event today. And with today, I mean 11 years ago. But $1 million top prize. So don't think that this is just for fun. This is actually a 25K buy-in event. They had, I want to say they had 32 total players. So they had a big field of players in this format. They played 12 heats. And now we are down to the final 4 teams.
Might be considering a raise.
And a raise is exactly what he does. Those brown chips, 10,000 each. And that makes 110,000.
I guess he's willing to get all in here against Seed and Cunningham.
All in.
Well, we'll find out. Cunningham all in for 622,000.
Ivy doesn't look like you wanted to hear that.
Ivy can't call this, can he?
Guess we're kind of out of this hand. I don't know. He might call timeout. He might be in it. I don't know.
I said to myself I was going to call him if he moved in on me. That's what I said to myself. Now I'm like, change my mind.
It's okay to change your mind.
Huh?
It's okay to change your mind. That's.
It's an additional 512,000 chips.
Guess you didn't like the way he moved in.
I mean, he's just not getting the odds. I just don't think you can make this call, can you, if you're Ivy?
Well, his strategy in the hand was to re-raise call, but now he's questioning the strategy midway.
And he gives it up.
He folds and he doesn't use a timeout.
Another attribute great poker players have.
Big fold there from Phil Ivey. Very good stuff here from him. Feeling out that his ace-9 suited was beat, which is, of course, the right decision there, but definitely a tough one. As he said, his plan was to raise and to call, but he didn't do it. As Monica said, don't do it, Phil. Don't do it, Phil. And he didn't do it, which is awesome. All right, let's see what else we got. We got a medal guy watching from Etobicoke. That is in Toronto. I appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, let's smash those likes on YouTube as well. Let's hit 100 likes on the show today. I would really appreciate it. As Miko says, I've had over 30 playing video poker. Royal flush as we are talking. Wow. It leads me to want to ask you guys, what's been the craziest thing that you've ever done in a casino? Maybe you've gotten kicked out. Maybe you've hit a royal flush. Maybe you're a big Wheel of Fortune player. Let me know if you have any funny casino stories for me.
Often slip into second or third place easily.
Even more so in this format without antes. Ferguson sizing up Tony G's stack. He's got the ducks.
I'm all in.
He deems it profitable. Move all in. A quick call from Tony G.
Wow.
You got the best hand.
That was a quick call with King 9.
Big flip.
I thought it was like a big hand.
Wow, me too. I thought he had at least.
Big flip here between Ivy Ferguson and Tony G Benyamine. Let me know who you're rooting for. Are you still on Team Ivy, or have you switched to the dark side? My side, the Tony G side.
Well, not surprisingly,
The drinks are waiting upstairs.
we have another
anyway.
team all in.
That's it.
That's all you could find, buddy, King 9. After all this, this waiting, you think I really didn't fold more better than that?
Here's the flop.
Come on.
And Tony G spikes a
The
king.
butcher of Baghdad is produced. Yeah, baby, and give me a heart. A heart and commitment to the game.
I don't like the heart.
I've tried so hard for the heart. The heart.
Give him the 3 of hearts.
Yeah,
Give him the 3 of hearts.
okay. Deuce of heart.
You know what? I'll take the 9 of diamonds. There you go, 9 of diamonds. How fair is that?
Give me the 3 of hearts.
I don't mind the
Deuce of
deuce of
hearts.
hearts. I don't mind the deuce of hearts. 10?
10 of diamonds. It's not a 9 of diamonds. It's not a deuce of
I
hearts.
tell you what, we'll take a pair. Would have been worse if you had queens.
A deuce and only a deuce will eliminate Tony G and David Benyamine.
Deuces are wild. I have a feeling deuces are wild.
Shut up.
It's
Jack
a
of
Jerry.
clubs.
Ralph Perry would have beaten us. It's King Jack.
And Benyamine and Tony G, they're like cats. They have 9 lives.
Hang on.
Double up again for Tony G and Benyamine. We've seen like 5 of these now, and they're still in the hunt. I said it at the start of the show. This is my team. I'm rooting for Tony G and Benyamine. They are my team. I hope that they can pull it off, but we'll see if this works.
I agree. I've had enough. Absolutely enough. You guys have been bluffing me out all day. I've been sitting here folding. I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to take it anymore. I've had absolutely enough.
197.
If I see anything that looks like a respectable hand, I'm not going to be disassociated.
Tony G is on fire while Hayden Krause is wondering what is going on with the guy hosting the show. That will be me. Hayden, we're live on Twitch, on Facebook, and on YouTube. Thank you so much. Appreciate your questions, and please keep them coming. But yes, we are down to the final table of this event. $1 million up top for the winning team here, as Ivey and Ferguson just took quite a big blow to their stack, as Benyamine and Tony G are on the up and up. They're grinding to the top.
Action over to Lederer. Ace-queen offsuit.
I'm ready to call a significant raise. Or a re-raise.
Monster hand. This is a big blind-on-blind situation.
All right, I'm
There's a raise from Lederer and an all-in from Tony G and a call from Lederer. It's sick.
We have 400.
They didn't have to move all in.
Mr. B is not very happy at the moment.
We'll get lucky.
He talked himself.
Benyamine is not happy.
In between those two hands.
Do you think Benyamine needs the money? Do you think that's why he's upset? Oh, by the way, Hanks is leaving us to go change some diapers. Good luck, Hanks.
Just focus on being lucky.
Yeah, good call.
You had enough. You had really had enough.
It's time to get lucky.
It really is.
There's the flop, 5-8 king.
That's not
It
it.
might be time to get lucky, but he's not lucky yet.
10. Let me focus on being lucky.
Let's get a 10. Or a jack.
Another 8 out there.
That's not
Let me
it.
focus on being
Tony
lucky.
G and Benyamine need a jack and only a jack.
That's good.
Phil, stop. Really, the last time you did that, they rivered us. Just be a man and look at it.
That's right. Put your name on it. Here's the river, 6 of clubs.
Bike time.
And Tony G and David Benyamine, they finally used up all their lives. They're out in 4th place.
Wow, how do we feel about the shove by Mr. Tony G going all in with the Queen Jack? Was that too spewy? Did you like the aggression there? Clearly they tried, and they tried for many, many all-ins. They made a big, big comeback, but they are now eliminated, taking home 100K. So 50K a pop here for the 4th place duo. And we're down to 3. Let's listen in.
Tony, what happened? You guys were building that comeback.
Yeah, we're trying our best, and I just, I've got that volatility on me and unpredictability, and it didn't work out. I try my best, What can you do?
So was there any logic behind that, or did you just want to go for it? Were you just getting really excited?
No, I thought I would get him off the hand. I mean, I just felt that, I could get him off. I didn't want to play for all his chips, and he didn't have to have ace-queen. I mean, I had a pretty nice hand, and I thought I could push him off and pick up the money again and
Fair
keep
enough.
it running.
Yeah, four-handed. David, what did you think about the hand when he flipped it over and it was Queen Jack?
I thought he had some kind of hand like that, because he didn't want to raise and he just limped it. I just thought he would call since he had done that. I didn't think he would move in. He limped to be able to call a raise, and then he decided to move in. It was his show today.
Well, thanks so much, guys. Always fun to watch you both.
That is the end of my team. The end of Tony G and David Benyamine. We continue with the final 3 teams here on the show. Thanks to everyone watching and tuning in. I appreciate it. Marco says King Jack, 2 loose, all in. It was Queen Jack, I believe. Herb says Queen Jack blows. I mean, Queen Jack is definitely a great hand. Maybe it's not the greatest hand to go all in with. Old News says Benjamin Degen. David Benyamine is probably a better name for him. Metal Guy says lost quad queens to a straight flush on the river at 2-5 at the win. I hope there was a bad beat jackpot, man, because that sounds terrible. Pat says, got a 1-year ban from a known casino for doing something I regret. Wow, that sounds awful. I hope you've learned your lesson. Peter says, Ralph Perry would have beaten us. I mean, that's a great quote from Tony G. Josh says, at Planet Hollywood had $100 on 20-1 on the big wheel, and last flip, it flipped from 20 to 1-1. I smashed my fist on a table and spilled my beer. I think we've all been there in some capacity. Casino bad beats are the worst.
But do you want a 3-bet here?
I think they probably will. They have 384,000. I suspect they might raise to maybe 140, 150,000 and then call off the rest.
Wow!
Ferguson decides to call.
Good time for a good squeeze.
I like this play as well. You don't love getting it in with king-queen for 400,000. And you figure to dominate most of the hands that are being raised on the button. I like a call.
We took 10 more in there.
Well, that's going to bring in Lederer as well.
Gladly.
And the cards pass from teammate to teammate.
Oh, yeah, you get those pieces now.
This pot now 150,000 as we see a flop.
3-way action. Could be big.
Deuce, 3, 6. It looks like a good flop for 5s, but Gordon is flop top pair, top kicker.
I think I expect Cunningham to bet and then be willing to call a raise.
Well, if you're Cunningham, you probably think your 5s are still good, and if they're not good, well, you've got a straight draw to boot. And he's going to bet 80,000. Just over half the pot. Action on Ivey.
Ivey might detect some weakness. He looks like he's considering a move.
Well, he thinks better of it, and it's probably good for him because Gordon is sitting behind him. Gordon kind of a loose cannon himself.
How much you guys playing? I think we started with high 7s. We're all in.
And Gordon's all in.
Very aggressive move. You could be up against the set here. You could be stone dead.
It almost looks like Gordon has big spades, though. If you're Cunningham and seed, you might call this.
Yeah, if Ivey had pushed, I think Cunningham was definitely calling. It's going to be tough, though, to call off another 622,000 with the pair of 5s.
Well, Cunningham's going to pick a better spot. And once again, Cunningham seems to have an uncanny knack.
Wow, that's incredible. I mean, you got the pair of 5s with the gut shot straight draw. Pretty strong hand. The shove is big, however, and you, of course, want to get the heads up first for that pay jump. Cunningham thinks about folding for a while and throws it into the muck. Respect for his game, definitely. I do think that Cunningham and Seed are probably the best pair still left as far as how in tune they are with each other, how they play, what their style is like, and how things have been going for them so far.
Cunningham in the small blind. And without Tony G and Benyamine at the table, the dynamic has changed. First off, it's quieter.
It's so quiet now.
Three-handed is a much different dynamic than four-handed. You have much more outright theft.
Cunningham calls, Ivey checks, and we're going to see a flop. Blind versus blind. Jack, King, 4. Seed and Cunningham in the lead. They've picked up a gut shot.
Seven deuce, no problem.
Looks like
this could be a small pod. By the way, if you guys have any questions for me, or if you have anything else to chime in with, let me know where you watch from. Let me know how you're doing. I appreciate it. It is 6:30 p.m. here in Las Vegas, and I'm streaming from my apartment to share this Doubles Poker Championship with you guys. I love this format. I think it's great, and we are watching until there is a winner. So if you're just tuning in, don't go anywhere because we are watching until this is done, and there's $1 million up top for the winner. So definitely going to be exciting to see who closes this out. I have no idea who wins this. This is from 2010. I've never seen this before. That's why I picked it to watch it on the show. Brian Jacobs says, what's your favorite odd hand to start with? 6-9 of hearts. Easy. Always.
Slash intermediate, you know.
Yeah. That's pretty strong.
You ever seen, I've been in it like 4 times. New York Times, pretty strong.
No, oh, okay. No, LA Times.
For hands I've played.
Who writes it now?
Jeff Rubin.
Talking about bridge. Different era, different type. Monica says, love playing 7 deuce. Yeah, definitely. Let me know in the chat if you guys love having the 7 deuce game involved in your local home games. I definitely love it. The Metal Guy says, are poker rooms busy in Vegas? Yes, they are. They are busy, and I'm kind of surprised. I don't understand why you would want to play poker right now, even if the risk is small. You don't want to get yourself sick. You don't want to get anyone else sick, your friends, your family, your loved ones. So why not just take a step back and wait until everything is resolved, just for the sake of safety? But yes, they are busy. I've seen lots of photos and videos from the poker rooms, and there's lots of action. So yeah, if you want to play, go play. Just not really for me. All right, an ace for both teams. This could be an all-in. No, Ivy lays it down quickly. Kind of impressive there. Old News says, Remko, please give an update on running back with Jamie Gold. Yes, I'm going to have him on running back at some point. Jamie Gold has told me many times that he wants to be on the show. However, we have never been able to schedule it, but we are going to watch the 06 main event final table with Jamie Gold, but it's just taken a while. I also have Patrick Antonius lined up. He also wants to be on the show to watch high stakes poker. But next week, on Thursday night, a week from now, I'm going to have Isaac Haxton on the show to watch the final table of the 2018 Super High Rollable that he managed to win inside the PokerGo studio. This is some high-level play. This is some really exciting tournament action. And you're going to get to ask any question you want to Isaac Haxton. And, of course, you get to learn from the legend himself.
Blinds right now at 10,000, 20,000. Huck not going to play there. Action over to Ferguson. He squeezes the Queen 10 offsuit.
Now, Ferguson and Ivey have nothing to lose with aggressive play. They're the short stack.
Get a raise from Ferguson over to Lederer.
All in.
And Lederer is all in with the ace-9.
Here we go. Don't think they're going to call this.
Ferguson gives it up.
Ferguson wasn't getting the pot odds. Also, he has a dream scenario in mind where the first two teams get into a confrontation that leaves him with second place money. Given this payout structure, you would expect the first and third place teams to tend towards aggression, and you would expect the second place team to tread carefully.
That is ICM, ladies and gentlemen. ICM in play here for a chance to play heads up. Crazy Vrac on Twitch says, Gus Hansen and Dave Ollier Devilfish would be the perfect pair to play this. Yeah, that'd be awesome to watch. It'd be really good. RIP Devilfish. I had a chance to talk to him when he was still around. I covered him in many events. He was definitely a one-of-a-kind guy, and he had his pitfalls and he had his issues, but ultimately he was a great character at the poker table.
Didn't care. You get a call from Cunningham, and we have blind on blind action. Ivey will often just check, and he decides to check again. I thought he was going to bet there.
Quick reminder for those that are not subscribed to PokerGo yet, use the promo code HSP to take $20 off the annual sub. We have Monday and Wednesday new episodes, Poker After Dark and High Stakes Poker. The action has been hot. It has been great. We have a new lineup coming in for High Stakes Poker as well, so don't miss out on any of that action. If you love poker, you will love PokerGo, and we have thousands of hours of footage, including the Doubles Poker Championship, just at your fingertips if you are part of our PokerGo fan base. Sanctos says, is this live or a replay? I am live on Twitch, on Facebook, and on YouTube. However, the action that we're watching, as you can tell by the full tilt patches, is from 2010. This is 11 years ago that this was being filmed, and I'm bringing it back to life, and we're watching the finale tonight until we get down to a winner.
And Ivey calls.
Ferguson's going to possibly have a tough decision on the river.
4 of hearts does not help Ferguson. And Seed and Cunningham will win this hand if it goes to showdown.
I think I would value bet this if I were Seed.
Pot is 100,000. He decides to check. And I assume Ferguson is going to be happy with the showdown. And he is. Well, he's happy with the showdown. He's not going to be happy with the end result, though. Check mark next to Huck Seed and Cunningham's name. means they win the pot and 100,000 chips go into their stack. And Phil Ivey and Chris Ferguson continue to hemorrhage chips.
We're in bad shape.
All right, Ivey and Ferguson are the short stack here as we have 3 teams left for the $1 million top prize in the Doubles Poker Championship. Keep your questions coming. Keep your shout-outs coming. If you want to let me know where you're watching from, I will definitely give you a shout-out, and I appreciate everyone tuning in as always. We are coming up on Heads Up Play because Ivey and Ferguson are short. They have to go make a move at some point, and I think the blinds are getting pretty big. It is tough to see, though, what the blinds are right now. Robert says, pre-Black Friday tourney, RIP Full Tilt Poker. Yeah, they screwed that up really badly, and of course, Black Friday did not help either. Rob says, Howard and Phil have been using their chip lead well. Yeah, they have. They have been applying the pressure, and obviously the 10 on the turn against the aces of Tony G was a huge one. So yeah, that's definitely a big moment that really changed his final table. Tony G and David Benyamine made a big comeback, but then ultimately it was the shove with Queen Jack suited that ended sending them to the rail in 4th place. Michael says, Devilfish is one of my all-time favorites. 10 years apart, spent 2 dinner breaks with him. Couldn't have been funnier and nicer. Yeah, he was definitely one of a kind character. All right, that's the end of the Tony G and Benyamine saga. They were really fun. Adam says, watch from the UK. Say hello to my friend Lewis. What's up, Lewis? Thank you guys so much for tuning in, Adam. I hope you're having a good time. I hope you're having a good night. I hope that the weather is good over there because I know it is still wintertime. It's even cold in Vegas. Can you believe that? For people who are unfamiliar with it, yes, it does get cold in Vegas. Kings. Let's watch.
Lederer and Gordon in great shape to possibly pick up that first place prize.
Durdur watching from Paris, France on Twitch. Durdur, thank you so much for tuning in. Dudor, I think it says.
They're looking pretty good in this hand as well.
Wow, 5s.
Alan doesn't look thrilled with 2 5s for some reason.
Well, they're not deep enough to call to hit their set. They won't be getting enough odds.
Yeah, but Cunningham might decide to call in part because he could hit a set, and in part because he thinks he might well have the best hand. He'll evaluate the flop and call if he thinks he's ahead.
Well, he won't get a chance to call because it's going to be his partner, Huck, who has to make the decision. And the flop comes out 8-3-9 rainbow. Not necessarily a terrible flop for 2 5s.
Yeah, this is one of those tricky flops where you figure to be ahead at the moment, but you're going to have a hard time playing later streets. Some players will just call a bet. Other players will just give it up here.
No timeouts or anything.
Lederer is going to bet 107,000.
All right.
And Huck quickly...
Huck Seed lays it down. Another hand for Howard and Phil Gordon. Brian Jacobs says, can I get a shout out from a small town of OPP, Alabama? Is that the name of the town? Brian, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. Waymond Crib says, let me play with y'all. If you have the money to play on high stakes poker or poker after dark, slide into my DMs on Twitter and I will get you on there. If you have the funds, we can try to make this happen. At Remko Rinkema on Twitter. I appreciate it. Chevy says, what's up, my man? Mo again from Michigan. I appreciate you, as always, tuning in. User on Twitch, J39404, asks, Remko, did PokerGO obtain the rights to WSB Bracelet event live streams they had on their website from prior years before Twitch? Those no longer exist. We have every single episode that was ever created and broadcast on TV. The live streams are a completely different beast. We have the live streams we did ourselves. So from 2017 onwards, we have all the live streams from every single event that we ever covered. Even the ones that were on Twitch, they're all on PokerGO. They're all available. You can watch those. But all the events that were streamed on different platforms before that era were not part of the hard drives that were saved by the World Series of Poker. So yes, we do not have that. So it's a shame, but I think those are lost forever. If you find them somewhere, let me know.
That offer, but definitely you don't like being at risk with this type of payout structure.
I'll put more money on it. I won't take it out, but I'll put more money on it if you want to.
All right, yeah. You'd rather lose than chop it? Yes. That's a bluff. You can pass a line.
I think we have it all in our hands here. Ace-5 against Ace-6. Looks as though it's going to be a chop. Wiggle says, was it an open offer to play in poker after dark? He says, God, I wish I had the money. Yes, that is kind of an issue with poker. You got to have the money. You got to have the money. Yaman says, lost forever is a strong statement. Yeah, we have not been able to locate these old school streams. Keep in mind, by the way, quality wasn't that great on these streams, and I believe that no one seemed to care at that point to save them back in the day. So yeah, nothing we can do. I tried, by the way. We dug into this. We tried to find them. No record of those streams existing anywhere. So yeah, that's a shame. But we have thousands of hours of World Series of Poker action available on PokerGo. So if you cannot be entertained by that, then I don't know what to say. By the way, no chop there. Phil Gordon and Howard Lederer make a wheel on the river, or on the turn even, and they send Ivey and Ferguson to the rail.
Went right for Ferguson and Ivey at this final table. They came out hot but ended very cold. Hopefully $200,000 will warm them up. Let's go down to Lacey, who is with Chris and Phil now.
Oh boy.
All right, guys, disappointing finish for you both, I'm sure. You were short stack going in. You were chip leader at what point? What was the turning point?
That's for you, Cunningham. That one's for you.
Yeah, well, I mean, we were avoiding a lot of confrontations. We did a great job of avoiding confrontations. There were 8 all-ins, and unfortunately the short stack won every single one until very late. So I thought we did a good job of surviving, which is really what you want to do. And we built up our chips. I think we had 600,000 or 700,000 at one point. We just kind of got whittled away a little bit, and that's the way it goes. I mean, I thought it was a blast. I had a blast playing here, and obviously with my partner, it was just a lot of fun playing with Phil Ivey.
Phil, did you learn anything about Chris's play or vice versa for both of you?
Yeah, I realize how much he raises before the flop now, so I'm gonna keep that in mind next time I play with him. No, I didn't really learn too much about Chris's game. I don't think he played about the way I expected he was gonna play, and I think I played about the way he thought I was gonna play too. So there's really not much to it. The format was great. I really enjoyed that. Playing with a partner, and I look forward to coming back next year.
All right, that never happened. This show was only done once, and then of course Black Friday happened, and TV poker was no longer a thing until PokerGo stepped onto the scene, acquired the rights, and is trying to bring back all the poker action, of course, with High Stakes Poker, Poker After Dark, and I'm going to fight for the Doubles Poker Championship to be returned back to the scene because I think this format is incredible. I think it's amazing. Robert watching from Hotlanta ATL, appreciate it. Let's see. Fernando says, 9Live says hello to his poker friend from South Padre Island. What else we got going on here? Let's see what you guys have to say here in the chat. By the way, we are heads up. I believe it's 500K for second and 1 million for first here. So 250 a pop if you finish second, 500K a pop if you finished first. Pat says, what stakes did it play on Poker After Dark? I believe the smallest game we've ever had was a 10K sit and go, and usually those are 25Ks. And I think the cash games, they start at 5,100. So do the math on that. That's pretty impressive. Scott Anderson says the rare ESPN non-main event ones. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Those are all on PokerGo. Every single thing that was on ESPN is on PokerGo. So don't need to worry about that. All those prelims are on PokerGo. All the stuff that was on TV is on PokerGo.
Also, you're protecting yourself from gut shot draws like Queen 10, Queen Jack. Also, if your opponent has a king, you figure to get value on all 3 streets.
Well, they're definitely going to get value. Lederer raises it up to 123,000.
Lederer has a hand that traditionally is not strong enough to raise the flop with. I think he's playing some head games with Huck. He wants Huck to think that he's bluffing here, and then get Huck to proceed with either a bluff or a call down with a marginal hand, like maybe a pair of 9s.
Well, Huck Seed and Alan Cunningham have anything but a marginal hand. They have top 2. And Huck Seed decides to just call and underrepresent his hand. Here's the turn. Jack of clubs. And Lederer and Gordon can no longer win this pot. They can chop it up if a jack hits the river. Cunningham checks. Pot now 306,000 chips. Back over to Gordon.
All in.
And Gordon's all in.
Call.
Cunningham immediately calls.
Wow.
And this is fantastic poker from Seed and Cunningham.
Drawing dead. No, we don't got a jack for now.
Jack ball.
It's almost as if they were dancing.
Nice check that too.
They knew exactly what to do and how to play their opponents. Here's the river. It's a 6 of hearts. And there's the double up from Seed and Cunningham.
Queens and 8s. queens and kings and nines hands.
Big double up
And
there.
you heard earlier Lederer say to Gordon, do you ever check? And we know Gordon doesn't check. I think Cunningham and Seed, they also know Gordon doesn't check.
Well, I think Gordon was put in a tough spot. Both teams played the hand in a confusing way. The lines were a little strange, and Gordon didn't know exactly how to respond after the raise on the flop and then the check on the turn.
That's going to be able to move into? No. Check? Check and try to get out for $200 on the river.
Oh, I'm not trying to get out for anything. Check and see what happens.
Howard is such a nit.
Trying to get more action for the 9. Get them to pay me off with a 9 if it comes a blank on the river. And call a bet if they bet on the river. Either way. Not really knowing, not having necessarily a plan.
Yeah,
It's so hard for them to call with a 9.
Checking's better.
Well, they had the top pair.
We got Kelly watching from Tennessee, Jonesboro. Appreciate you watching as always. What else we got going on here? Who are you guys rooting for in this heads-up battle? I'm now on team Huck, Seed, and Ellen Cunningham after my team of Tony G and David Benyamine exited the tournament. So hopefully Seed and Cunningham can take it down. Big double up for them just now, so they have a great chance at winning this. We are watching the heads-up stages of the Doubles Poker Championship, and that means that both players of the losing team are going to be guaranteed at least $250,000 and $500K a pop for the winning team.
Cunningham played the pair of fives earlier, three-handed. He just chose to meekly call the pair of fives. Lederer chooses an ultra-aggressive line with the small pair. Both plays are defensible.
I can't call you with the king 10 every time, Bob. I mean, I gotta let you have it sometimes.
Seed's gonna pass. Lederer shows Gordon the cards. Gordon likes it, and they rake in the chips. Well, it wasn't a double up, but Gordon and Lederer will take it. For now, they know the odds are stacked against them here on Fremont Street. Welcome back to the climactic battle. Heads up here at the Doubles Poker Championship. Seed and Cunningham with 1.12 million. Lederer and Gordon not far behind with 881,000.
Still a lot of play left. The blinds are only 15,000, 30,000.
Now, as I mentioned earlier, these two faced off in the semifinals, and just like there, Seed and Cunningham had the edge. Lederer and Gordon were able to fight back, but eventually they did succumb. How do you see this one turning out?
Well, I have to like Seed and Cunningham's position given the chip lead, and they're playing very confidently, very strong.
Lederer raises it up on the button. Seed gonna call, and the cards go to their teammates. 6-4-3. Second pair for Seed and Cunningham.
We know Gordon doesn't like to leave money dead in the middle, and he's missed this flop entirely. It's a good one to take a stab at.
What do you know, Brandon? Well, he checks, and they pick up a pair of 8s on the turn. Seed now going to lead out. And it's a big bet. He almost bets a full pot size bet. The pot was 166,000. He bets 160,000.
I'm all in.
And Lederer is all in.
Wow, if you're Lederer, it's very unnerving to move in for your tournament life with this hand.
Funny thing is, I meant to bet 80. I bet 160.
I think it's the right play.
I meant to bet 80, you know. I don't know why I bet so big. God.
Well, that explains the big overbet.
All in, huh?
Is that communication? You said you thought he should only bet 80?
No, I didn't say it.
Totally did move.
It's a little bit of information.
Huck noting that he made a mental error. He intended to bet 80,000 on the turn.
Okay.
Huck hasn't done much wrong at the poker table, except when it comes to bet sizes. This is the second time he's made that kind of mistake.
No, they might have bluffed us the way he said good play.
1 minute.
I think they did bluff it the way he reacted.
Or after.
They give up quite a few chips there, Seed and Cunningham. Looks to be a pretty even match so far. I'm seeing lots of fans for the Seed and Cunningham pairing in the chat. I think most people are on their side. So at least we're all rooting for the same team. That's a lot of fun. Robert says, I can't wait to play poker in Vegas and not have to wear a mask. Yeah, hopefully by the end of this year, everyone's vaccinated and we can all play poker again without masks, because I cannot see the WSOP happening, you know, without that being in place, because those events are just so massive. It would be so tough to do anything along those lines.
Cunningham to speak. 9-4 suited. He's going to limp in on the button. And Gordon's got aces. How do you like to play aces against a pre-flop limper?
I think you should always raise. If you let your opponent see the flop for free with a hand that wouldn't have called a raise, and he stacks you, you've made one of the worst mistakes you can make in poker.
Raise 60 on top.
Gordon raises it up to 90,000, and Cunningham's going to pass. And maybe a missed opportunity for Gordon and Lederer. All they do is pick up the blinds.
Yeah, but you can't blame them. They didn't raise too much. They raised the normal amount, 3 times the big blind. It just so happened that Allen didn't have a hand that he thought could call. A bigger mistake would have been if they gave free cards and the board came 9-4 deuce. Or a flopped flush and they lost all of their money.
Gordon peaks at 4-3 offsuit.
I wish we had the stack sizes on screen. I can't really tell who's in the lead right now, but it has to be pretty close after those big pots. The blinds look to be fairly big as well, so we could see more all-ins. However, Huck and Allen have a lot of the black chips in front of them, so they might still be in the lead.
There's some case for raising less than all-in.
All-in.
Not surprised by this play at all.
$1 million.
Cunningham moves all in for nearly 1 million chips. Gordon obviously can't call, doesn't even want to show his partner. And the 4-3 goes in the muck, and the seesaw battle continues.
Did you want me to fire that river?
A lot at stake here.
Didn't see what I could be representing.
$1 million for first place, $500,000 for second place, and of course, the inaugural Doubles Poker Championship. There's a sense of pride among these poker players. They want to win this.
When you're 3 or 4-handed, a very conservative strategy can make sense. Sometimes you just want to creep up the pay structure. But heads up, conservatism is death.
Seed gonna limp in from the button. Lederer picks up ace-7. He's gonna pass it to his partner and check. Pot 80,000 to the flop. 7-8 queen. Bottom pair for Gordon. A whole bunch of nothing for Seed and Cunningham.
It's a draw-heavy board. Gordon's going to be worried about getting blown off by a draw. He's going to play this quite carefully.
Turn is a 6 of hearts. It gives Seed and Cunningham a gut shot. Lederer and Gordon still in the lead with a pair of 7s. Seed checks. And the river's a 5 of hearts. And Seed and Cunningham make a straight.
Wow, that's funny.
And while it's far from the nuts, pretty sure Cunningham knows it's good and he's reaching for chips. Cunningham bet 60,000.
A relatively large bet of 3/4 of the pot.
Not much you can beat if you're Gordon. He's going to call anyway, though. He's not going to like what he sees. He shakes his head in disgust and tosses his cards in the muck. Best hand pre-flop, best hand on the flop, best hand on the turn. Finally, they get the worst hand on the river and they pay it off. That's a recipe for disaster over at Team Lederer and Gordon.
All right, so we still do not have accurate chip counts. Maybe after this little interlude, we will get the chip counts on screen. I'd love to see how they stack up against each other, but the action is pretty close. Oh, here we go. Here we got chip. Okay, there's 2 million, roughly 2 million chips in play. A little over 1 million for Seed and Cunningham, 949 for Lederer and Gordon. So there you have it. They are basically tied in chips. Blinds are 20K, 40K. So 25 big blinds each is what we're playing with. Haker83 says, did they pick their partners or was it random? It was random draws for 12 heats leading up to the playoffs. And then the playoff seeding, based on the points that you got, locked you into a partner for the semifinal and the final. So the first 12 rounds were all random draws. And then it was locked in based on points who you are playing with. So pretty interesting format, and these were the pairs that we ended up with, and we are down to the final 2 pairs. The winner gets $1 million. This was played back in 2010. This is old school throwback action. This is Run It Back. And I do this show every week with some old school action for you guys to watch. And next week, I have Isaac Haxton on the show to watch the super high rollable final table from 2018.
On a board like this, there's a lot of draws. You don't want to get blown off the hand.
Well, Gordon decides to bet 150,000. And if a pair of eights is tough to play, how about king high? Cunningham decides to pass. And with that hand, Lederer and Gordon vault into the chip lead.
Allen has been playing relatively passively. That probably went into Phil's decision to bet. He wasn't that worried that Allen would raise as a bluff or raise with a marginal draw.
The tone has turned deadly serious. You can't blame him.
Good point. The tone has gotten very serious. Not much has been said at the table since they got down to heads-up play. Pat says definitely pulling for Huck and Allen. I'm doing the same thing. Pat also asks, Remko, do you think WSP will be played this year? I think that if the WSP will be played this year, it'll be later in the year. That's just my take. I think in June, it's probably too early. But hopefully, like September, October, to be awesome.
All in.
Sometimes you've got to empty the clip.
The old Phil Gordon, the Gordon of old. He returns.
Okay, let's go. Next time. What didn't you show him?
Wow, Howard getting snarky.
That one was probably read-based. He probably just sensed weakness on Allen, decided to take advantage.
Just shipping the 6-4 suited.
Holding in this tournament.
You know what I love? Lederer nodded his head as if, yeah, you got the goods. Same nod, by the way, when Gordon had the aces. Inside, Lederer is probably burning. What are you doing with 6-4 spades?
Is Howard Lederer the most miserable guy possible in televised poker? He's a total nit. He's being snarky towards Phil Gordon, and he's just being... Like, I believe this is a show paid for by Full Tilt. Like, I believe you're trying to make it entertaining. Why is he being such a jerk?
You have to let players go with their reads. If Phil reads someone as weak and decides to take advantage...
Well, I don't think you have a choice. Whether you want to or not, he's the one acting, so... For better or worse, till death do us part. Well, at least till the end of the Doubles Poker Championship.
Oh, wait. We can't talk
Gordon
about
calls. Cunningham
said
checks. Here's the flop. 7-4-10, all hearts.
They got just a little bit of it.
Hey, you think? Lederer and Gordon with the flush. They have a straight flush draw to boot, by the way, so they can improve, just in case they were up against a higher flush. Seed and Cunningham have their own gut shot. A 5 will complete the straight. Any heart will give them a flush as well, but we can see they're drawing dead.
I like Howard's bet, though. You're making a huge mistake if you allow a bigger heart to outdraw you.
It's hard to say.
And there are plenty of hands that will give you action on that board.
Well, Lederer does bet.
You need a super low whisper voice.
The bench is in between hands. That doesn't
Can
really
you go
count,
to
does
the
it?
bench in between hands and
You
discuss?
just run back there right now.
Should be able to, you want to?
Maybe a bromance brewing.
No, we just want to go have a huddle in between hands over there at the bench.
Can't whisper? Okay, can you hear when we're whispering? We whisper sometimes.
Sometimes.
The sweet whispers of
Sometimes
Howard
I
Lederer.
Catch little bits and pieces.
This is a very long four-handed match. We've played over 200 hands.
Wow. That's kind of incredible.
Yeah, nobody giving up anything. Huck seat on the button with 8 and deuce. He's going to limp in. Seed and Cunningham content to play small ball. I think they can outplay their opponents post-flop.
They're probably right, but they risk giving away a lot of free pots to Lederer and Gordon.
4, 3, 6. Whole bunch of nothing there for both teams. Cunningham and Seed have picked up a gut shot. Queen high, still the best hand, though. Cunningham in position is going to bet 50,000, and that takes it down. And Cunningham and Seed.
The action continues here as we are heads up with $1 million up for grabs. If you're just tuning in, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channels. We're closing in on 100 likes on YouTube. I would love to hit that as we get closer and closer to the end of the show. Please smash like if you are on YouTube. Hitting 100 likes would be awesome. Thanks also to all the new followers on Twitch. S. Stoll, Devi Call Me Floppy, E2. Wow, you guys' names are so hard to pronounce. How am I supposed to say it? The Welsh Goat, Yaman969, Hegalus, Grifter, Beto Set, Esports Champion. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in and following along on Twitch. We got some inside takes from this team that we don't really care about, so I'm just going to talk over it. Monica says Gordon will try to bully Seed. I mean, I'm kind of curious to see who's going to win this, because I feel as though the biggest bully is Howard Lederer, both, you know, in the way he talks and the way he plays. And I feel like Phil Gordon is a little bit scared, and that might work against them. Rob Holly says Huck is a Hall of Famer. Yes, he is. He got inducted into the Hall of Fame in the most recent round of inductees.
Fight through and fight back and make our way into the finals.
The two best teams in the playoffs made it to the final, and they were both the short stacks. I mean, you know, Huck and Allen, wow, you know, that is a tough team, and I think they're a great pairing. Phil and I really didn't see them make a single error, particularly during the heads up. They were very frustrating to play against.
We're here to play for the win. If playing for the win means we go out, you know, so be it. But this is a unique opportunity to play against the best players in the world on a great stage and a great format, and we're going to take full advantage.
Phil and Howard have had the most disagreement at this final table, but they're still in good shape to take this down.
They've also had an unusual number of difficult decisions.
Still tied in chips, by the way, for those keeping track.
Part of it is because they do play a lot of hands. They tend to get caught in marginal spots, tough situations. Howard's been very aggressive with the button. He's raised almost every hand.
Seed's out of position with 9-7 and diamonds. It's the kind of hand people like to play, but heads up out of position.
Jeffrey says, enjoying the content, man. Appreciated. Me too. Chevy Pix says, is there a lot of people out at night on the Vegas Strip? I don't know. I have not been to the Las Vegas Strip, even though I live here, since last February, so it's almost been a year.
No limit match. The button is raising almost every hand. The big blind is forced to defend maybe 60% of the time.
Jack 6 deuce. Pair sixes for Gordon and Lederer. Gordon's act.
Gordon has not been shy about betting his marginal holdings on the flop. He's almost forced to do so strategically because he's bluffing almost every time he misses.
And once again, we don't see a check raise bluff. And Gordon takes the pot down.
I feel as though we're just waiting for one big clash of two big hands, like ace-jack suited against nines or something. I feel as though these players, or these teams, are both playing pretty coy and cautiously, so not really seeing too many big hands. By the way, Alan Cunningham probably having some back problems there, standing up for the last few hands.
Traditional defense is to defend more and then to bluff more on the flop.
Seed gonna raise it up with Jack deuce suited. Over to Lederer.
We're down to stack poker.
Mullen.
And Lederer all in with the kings.
Just raise me every time, Bob. I'm tired of this. I'm like Tony G right now.
No idea.
I feel like Tony G. I'm just ready to slush it into queen high or king nine.
Lederer and Gordon picking up some big hands.
I'm tired of it, Bob.
And Huck Seed's had just about enough of it.
Lederer was hoping that Huck and Allen had a big hand. Note that they've been limping a lot of their buttons. In that case, they raised. Howard thought maybe they might have had something.
All I'm noticing is the triangle. What's up with the triangle? Is it like it's a little signal of unity among these guys?
You have to breathe. You have to breathe if you're going to play high stakes poker.
I like it. Queen 10 suited for Cunningham. And this time he's going to raise pre-flop. My guess would be that Gordon will call this, and Gordon almost immediately calls it.
Some straight chances here. Put some clubs out there.
Pot 200,000 chips. And Seed is first to act. Deuce 6-7 And Lederer and Gordon are really getting the better of it now. Not only are they getting better hands, but they're also flopping better.
You waiting for me to check?
Yeah, with this much money in before the flop, Seed almost has to take a stab at it, and Lederer almost has to go all the way.
Seed puts out a hefty bet of 131,000 chips.
This is not a flop likely to hit Lederer and Gordon.
But it has. Lederer with top pair.
I'm all in.
And he's all in. He's
Gives
actually not all in because they have.
Gives it up right away. By the way, for those who are tuning in, please let me know in the comments down below who you want to see on this show, on Run It Back, in the next couple of weeks. I have Isaac Haxton booked for next week. I'm working on some great guests for the coming weeks, but please let me know in the comments who you like to see on this very show in the future. I am more than happy to invite whoever you guys like to see on the show. I've heard some great suggestions already. Scotty Wynn should be on the show. I think that's a great idea. Also hoping that I can still get Mr. Sammy Farha on the show at some point. That would be incredible. Meanwhile, Howard and Phil have picked up quite the chip lead.
Yeah, I think you're right, Bob.
God. Cunningham likes the sound of that.
To tell, Alan.
Wow. Did you see that?
Really? You didn't see it?
Huh?
All right, then.
And Seed is all in, and this could be it. Ace-5 against 10-9, 55% against 45%.
Funny how you predicted that. We're going to have...
You get a 6-outer. It's even better than a normal 6-outer.
All right, Ace-5 against 10-9 for all the money. Let's see if they can do it.
Howard's push with the 10-9, given the way this match is played. Blinds were recently up to 30,000, 60,000.
Let's see if it was an odd number of chips we had.
It's a short stack gamble.
Well, there's the flop. Ace-3 queen. Top pair for Seed and Cunningham. Things are looking very bleak for Lederer and Gordon. And that's it. They're drawing dead.
Big double up.
And a 2-to-1 chip advantage turns into a 2-to-1 chip deficit, just like that.
Ivan says Mike Matisow on the show. I had Mike Matisow on this very show. If you search Run It Back on YouTube or Facebook, I did a show with Mike Matisow watching the 2005 WSP main event. Rob says Kelly Minkin. Yes, I'd love to have Kelly on the show. That'd be awesome. I've had Daniel Negreanu and Antonio Esfandiari on this show. Daniel has been on twice already, and with Antonio, I watched the big one for One Drop Final Table. Robert says JRB reliving all his bad beats would make for an epic show. I mean, I'll have to ask JRB to come on the show. That'd be awesome. Let's see. Jonathan Little, get him on the show? Yes, that'd be great. I would love to have him on the show.
He's up against Gordon. Gordon's been very aggressive pre-flop. He's going to take a risky line, just limping in on the button.
Fader holds, good idea. Had Fader on the show
risky
already.
Line or not.
I had Fader on the show earlier. Search for Run It Back Fader holds. You'll find it on YouTube.
Ace-King against the pocket jacks.
Wow, huge clash.
Classic race.
As I predicted, a huge clash. Pick your sides because this is going to go all in for sure.
There's the raise from Gordon.
You usually don't see Alan acting like this. He's trying to put on a show.
Well, how about a triangle show of unity?
All in.
Call.
All in,
Wow.
quick call.
Both have monsters, I guess.
You knew it was going to happen. 1.4 million chips up for grabs.
There it is, the coin flip that we've all been waiting for.
Last hand.
Just had a feeling.
More importantly, the inaugural Doubles Poker Championship and $1 million.
Good game, guys.
It could come down to this. Here's a flop. 6, deuce, 3, 1 hard out there.
Jackson
Lederer and
lead.
Gordon need an ace, a king, or running cards. Turns an 8 of diamonds, no help for him. An ace or a king on the river, or we have our first Doubles Poker champion. And that's it. 10 of clubs on the river.
Oh, Good battle, guys. Came down to the luck of the
Huck
flip.
and Alan Cunningham win the inaugural Doubles Poker Championship as their jacks hold up.
Good playing, good playing.
Looking back, the quality of play kicked up significantly on this final table. The players adjusted very well to the format. It's no surprise to me that the players who worked together most seamlessly, Alan Cunningham and Huck, came out victorious.
From short stack in the semifinals to champion in the finals, Huck and Alan Cunningham take home the inaugural Doubles Poker Championship. The trophy is nice, but $1 million is a lot nicer. Let's join Lacey Jones, who is with the winning team.
Congratulations, Huck and Alan. You're the very first doubles poker champions. Here to present you with your trophy is John Colville, Director of Poker Programming for the Golden Nugget. The $1 million will be coming soon, by the way. John?
Congratulations, gentlemen. On behalf of the Golden Nugget, we've really enjoyed having you here this week and hope to see you here again. Thanks. One for you, sir. And it is a doubles format,
That's
so
the team player you are.
one
Thank
for you. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot. Thanks.
Thank you.
Now I got a few questions to ask you right before you're gonna hang out and have fun with these trophies and your money. First of all, when you guys were playing against Howard and Phil, did you figure out any kind of strategy that they had going into this heads-up match?
I thought that they were doing pretty well, actually. They played aggressively and just kept us from being able to chip away at them very easily. And basically, they just owned me. I got lucky.
I agree. We played them heads up yesterday, and I thought they were gelling as a team and playing a lot better today. It was a tough match.
What was really tough about that match? I mean, what did you think was the toughest part? I know that they were going all in certain parts, and there were certain hands that you picked up.
They had a nice mix of raising us before the flop at the right moments that we couldn't really get anything together till the very end when we had our little rush.
Yeah. What changed from the semifinals to today?
I felt like the table was a little...
Wow, this interview is putting me to sleep. So thanks, Alan. Thanks, Huck, for putting me to sleep here at the end of the show. You guys at home, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. This was the entire Doubles Poker Championship as we had a chance to watch all the action over the last few weeks. If you've missed any of the action, all Run It Back episodes, I've done over 80 of these, are available on our YouTube and our Facebook channel. And of course, you can check those out in your own time. I've done great shows with Chris Moneymaker, Greg Raymer, Joe Hashem, Lex Feldhaus, Daniel Negreanu, Phil Hellmuth. Everyone has been on the show, and I'm looking to do more and more shows each week. Also, keep in mind, next week on Thursday night, I have Isaac Haxton joining me on the show to watch the Super High Roller Bowl final table from 2018. On your way out, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel. Tune back in next week for more action. Don't forget, we have No Gamble, No Future on Tuesday at noon Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. Gambling with Mr. Jeff Platt and Mr. Brent Hanks. So that should be a good one. And for now, I'll say good night. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully it's not a busy day tomorrow. And I'll be back next week on Thursday night with Isaac Haxton. Until then, have a good night.